A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, the time is June 25th, 1962. The place, a lonely beach. The story, Saucer of Loneliness by Theodore Sturgeon. My name is Jason Beniades. I'm a newspaper reporter, 31 years old. I write poetry, but I don't show it to anybody because they might laugh. And the things I write about are very important to me. I was an only child. I never went with girls much because I'm too ugly and too sensitive. And they used to hurt me. I live alone. It isn't much fun. I'm not painting this picture of myself to get sympathy. I don't need it. But it's important that you should know the kind of person I am. Otherwise, you won't understand what I'm going to tell you. It happened tonight, the thing I'm going to tell you about. Tonight. The 25th of June, 1962. I was down on the beach.
Hey, mister!
What is it, kid?
You seen a cop around any place?
On this beach?
I found this pile of clothes down near the rocks. The lady's dressed in shoes.
Well, did you see anybody? A girl?
Well, I think so, but she was running along the sand in the moonlight. I yelled to her, but she just kept running, and then I found these.
Look, kid, you go try to find a cop someplace. I'll see if I can find the girl.
Okay.
I thought to myself, she's dead. I'll never find her now in this white flood of moonlight with the surf seething in over the pale sand. I ran and ran until my knees buckled and went down in the swirl of it. The sea on my lips, with the taste of tears, and the whole white night shouted and wept. And then I saw her, waist deep, walking into the surf. Stop. Stop it. Come back. Come on.
Let go. Let me go.
Don't do it. Please don't.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
I'm going to have to hit you. Forgive me. I hit her in the neck with the edge of my hand, and she slumped. I brought her ashore and carried her to where a dune was between us and the water. Then I rubbed her wrists. She had a pale, beautiful face with ancient, bottomless blue eyes. She opened them and looked at me after a moment. It's all right. Here, put my coat over you.
Why couldn't you leave me alone?
I couldn't.
Why?
Because it's important to me.
I suppose you want to know why I did it.
If I told you I understand, would you believe me?
How could you understand?
Maybe I know what it means to be lonely. That's it, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm so terribly tired.
Put your head against my arm and just stay.
Don't
be afraid. I've been looking for you for a long time.
Looking for me?
All my life.
How did you know? I don't believe you.
It's true. I found your message.
Oh?
So you see, there's nothing to be afraid of. Not anymore. Just rest. The moonlight is terribly white.
Yes. I'd like to rest for a while.
She didn't remember it, of course. But I was one of the reporters who had covered the story when it first happened, 5 years ago. I'll never forget that day. I was working the police blotter. It was a quiet summer afternoon when they brought her in. 2 big cops in blue uniforms.
Come on now, girlie, come on.
Let me go. I haven't done anything.
Take it easy now.
What's the trouble, Connolly?
Disturbing the peace, Sergeant.
Is this that Central Park call?
Hey, this is it.
I thought you radioed that there was a near riot up there.
Oh, you should have seen the place.
All right, give me the report.
Well, me and Bennett got up there, and there was a mob of people all surrounding this girl, see? So we bust through, and there in the middle of maybe 600 people, she's lying there, sort of in a faint. I asked a couple of people what the difficulty was, and they tell me it's the flying saucer.
The what?
The flying saucer.
What flying saucer?
Let me finish, Sergeant. What flying saucer, I ask. And then they says that this girl was standing on the green, and suddenly the saucer comes down and starts whirring over her head like a halo.
What is this, miss? A gag?
It happened.
It did, eh? Well, now suppose you tell me your version.
I was standing in the park, and I looked up, and there it was.
Describe it.
It was beautiful. It was golden with a dusty finish, like an unripe Concord grape. It made a faint sound, a chord of 2 tones. And it circled over my head like some great round hummingbird.
Go on.
Well, other people must have seen it because they were all looking at me and pointing. I saw one man cross himself. And then it came down and touched me and spoke to me.
This flying saucer spoke to you?
Yes.
And, just what did it say to you? I said, what did it say?
I can't tell you.
A secret, huh?
Yes.
I see. Connolly, this girl is for Bellevue.
Well, Sergeant, the plain fact is that it happened just like that. 10 witnesses all agree it did.
Are you trying to tell me that there was such a thing as this whirring hummingbird of a saucer?
Oh, there was that, Sergeant.
And just how do you know, Connolly?
Well, we've got the thing out in the squad car.
You what?
Bennett's bringing it in right now, see? About 36 inches across it is, and covered with strange markings.
Great, Mother. Did you call the bomb squad?
I didn't think of it.
Well, think of it, man. This may be some kind of atomic weapon.
I'll turn it over to ballistics.
Never mind about ballistics. Call the FBI and tell them we've got this thing.
Yes, sir. What about the girl?
We'll book her on disturbing the peace. I've got a feeling the government men may want a word with her.
Sergeant.
What is it, Beniades?
I'd like to do a story on this for my paper. Could I have a look at the saucer?
We'd better clear it first.
Well, could I talk to the girl?
After she's been booked.
Connolly, is the crowd still up at the park?
Very likely.
Well, I'll run up there and get some eyewitnesses. Then I'd like to come back and talk to the girl. Up at the park, they were still buzzing about it. Some said she was a communist agitator. Some said it was a flying saucer from Mars, and she had stepped out of it. Others said she was a saint, and it was her halo. I took some notes, phoned the paper, and went back downtown to talk to her. But there were a couple of agents with her, and they wouldn't let me in.
Now then, miss, you told the sergeant this saucer spoke to you. Is that correct?
Yes?
Did it speak to you in English?
I don't know.
You did understand it, though.
Yes.
Do you speak any other languages?
No.
Tell me, what message did you receive from this instrument?
Wasn't anything, really.
Suppose you tell me.
I'd rather not.
Miss, let me be very frank. I'm not a policeman. I'm a security agent. That means that I deal with problems that affect the security of our country. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, we've examined this flying saucer enough to know that it is not of American manufacture. It also possesses an extremely high radioactive count. Now, that means that it was made in an area where radioactive materials are in great abundance, such as an area where atom bombs are made. That's why we want to know the message you received from the saucer.
There was no message.
You just made it up.
Yes.
I'm afraid you're lying. Suppose we have some soldiers bring the saucer in here and hold it over your head. Would you object?
I don't care what you do.
All right, boys, bring it in. Now, when I tell the men to hold it over your head, you try to recall what it said.
I don't know what it said.
Lift it up, boys. Hold it right over her head.
All right.
It's talking to you now, isn't it?
Yes.
What does it say? What did it say? All right, boys, crate it up and send it down to the National Research Laboratories.
Right. What about the girl, sir?
We'll get nothing out of her. I don't believe she really knows what that humming noise is. Better have a psychiatrist examine her.
Yes, sir.
They took her to the city hospital, and she had a room to herself. Whenever the door opened, she could see the policeman outside. The door opened quite often. There were a lot of important people, some in army uniforms, who came up from Washington just to see her and talk to her. Apparently, they had analyzed the flying saucer and discovered something that made this girl about the most important person in the country. I used to stand outside, and I could identify the heads of certain security agencies, but nobody would answer the questions that the reporters shot at them.
Sir, excuse me?
Yes?
I'm Jason Boniades from the Trib. I've been assigned to this flying saucer story as chief of the security...
I'm sorry, I have no comment.
Can you tell me how long the girl will be held?
That's a matter for the civil authorities.
We'll have the psychiatrist...
Excuse me, Mr. Boniades. My car's waiting.
A few days later, she was released from the hospital and returned to the court to be tried on the disorderly conduct charge. They found her guilty and fined her $15 and turned her loose. When she walked out of the courtroom, she was handed a subpoena to appear before a congressional committee in private session. She answered all their questions except one. My paper sent me over to cover the hearings.
Now, young lady, I want to remind you that I'm a senator of the United States and empowered by the people of this country to ask questions relating to matters of security. You understand?
Yes?
Your name is Janet Boyce, is it not?
I told you that.
Now, at an earlier session, you testified that as a young girl, you were a member of a certain organization in your neighborhood. Would you name it?
The Rinky Dinks.
Who comprised the Rinky Dinks, Miss Boyce?
It was just a bunch of girls who got together to play field hockey and listen to recordings.
Any particular recordings?
Mostly Eddie Fisher.
I see. Now, this flying saucer, you said it talked to you. You did say that, didn't you?
Yes.
And then you denied it.
Yes.
Why?
Because I was tired of answering questions.
Young woman, let me put something to you squarely. Oh, by the way, I think if there are members of the press here, I can divulge a rather spectacular piece of information to you. This flying saucer has been thoroughly examined and analyzed, and I wish to inform the people of this great nation that it definitely, I repeat, it definitely did not originate on this planet. Now then, Miss Boyce, consider that it is possible that our Earth might be attacked from outer space by beings much stronger and cleverer than we are. And consider that perhaps you have the key to our defense against those beings. Don't you owe it to the world?
I don't think I owe anything to anybody.
Even if the Earth was not attacked, just think what an advantage it would give this country over its enemies. Young woman, I ask you, what did that flying saucer say to you? Do you know that what you're doing is tantamount to working for the enemies of your country? I will give you one more chance. What was the message?
It was personal.
Gentlemen, I move that Miss Janet Boyce be cited for contempt.
The furor was fantastic. The chief of security blasted the senator for divulging secret information about the origin of the flying saucer, and the senator said the people had a right to know, and besides, he was just guessing anyway, and happened to guess right. Meanwhile, the press printed the girl's picture all over the front page and ran banner headlines such as, "Girl refuses to betray Martian secrets. Flying saucer girl won't talk, cited for contempt." The contempt trial was equally spectacular. She didn't plead any amendment or anything. She just said the saucer was talking to her, and it was nobody else's business. She was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison. Boniades. Yes, Chief. For the Sunday supplement? What do you think? There's anything in it? Okay, whatever you say. Mike, get me everything you can on that flying saucer girl, will you? Yeah, the one that was sent to jail about 4 years ago. See if you can find out what she's doing now. She was released about 6 months ago, I think. Uh-huh. Yeah, the boss wants a feature for the Sunday supplement. Okay. I found out she had gotten a job cleaning at night in offices and stores down near the beachfront. There weren't many to clean, but that meant there weren't many people to remember her face from the newspapers. I tracked her down and caught up with her in a one-armed coffee joint about 4 a.m. Excuse me, miss. Do you mind if I sit here?
No.
Nice night, isn't it? Moonlight and everything.
Which are you? Security, newspapers, or just somebody out for a good time?
You're pretty bitter, aren't you?
Shouldn't I be?
Yeah, I guess you should. My name is Jason Boniades. I'm with the newspaper.
It's been nice meeting you. I have to go now.
Just a minute.
Please.
I can't blame you.
How did you find me?
One of the leg men located your mother. I talked to her earlier tonight.
Oh. How is she?
Still hitting the bottle. The way she knew where you were, you sent her some flowers on her birthday, remember?
Yes. She wouldn't talk to me. Said she didn't want a daughter who was a jailbird.
Tell me how it's been.
So you can write about it?
I promise you I won't write anything you don't want me to write.
Okay. You want to know how it's been? Right after I got out of jail, I met a man at a restaurant. Nice man. He asked me for a date. I spent every cent I had on a red handbag to go with my red shoes. They weren't the same shade, but anyway, they were both red. And I was very excited about the date. We went to a movie. Afterward, he didn't even try to kiss me or anything. He just wanted to know what the flying saucer had told me. Didn't say anything. I just went home and cried all night.
And that was it?
No. I had another date. I get pretty lonely. This time they arrested the man I was with. He was a Russian agent. On Christmas Eve, 4 men called me up and sang me a song. Would you like to hear the words?
It doesn't
They
matter.
go, the flying saucer came down one day and taught her a brand new way to play, and what it was she will not say, but she takes me out of this world.
I'm sorry.
Now will you go away and leave me alone?
Yes.
Aren't you going to ask me the big question?
No?
Everybody does.
No, well, not me.
You will, sooner or later.
Maybe. Look, Can I take you home?
No.
Can I see you again?
Please.
I don't know. I'm afraid to let myself like anyone.
Trust me. Will you?
I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll wait here for you tomorrow night.
All right.
The next night, I went back to the coffee joint to wait for her. I knew she got through about 4 a.m. I got there about 15 minutes early.
Mr. Benides?
Yes. Say, you're the chief of the security section, aren't you?
You have a good memory. You mind if I sit down?
Well, I'm expecting someone.
Yes, I know.
Oh, I see.
I'd like to talk to you.
Go ahead.
You probably know that we've been trying to gain the confidence of this girl for some years now.
Yes.
And apparently you've succeeded where we've failed.
Well, not really.
In any event, you seem to be making some progress.
She may not even show up.
I think she will. Now, I'm going to ask you to help us.
Help? In what way can I help?
We have reason to believe that this girl is a courier for some alien power.
On what do you base that?
Well, there was the incident of the saucer, of course. We've definitely established that it came from some other planet. And recently, she's been throwing messages inside bottles into the ocean.
What sort of messages?
They're always the same. Now, I have one right here. You're welcome to read it and see if it makes any sense. We've had every decoding expert in the service trying to break it. But we can't seem to find the key.
I see.
Now, she's throwing literally hundreds of these messages in bottles into the sea. We've got many of them, but not all, naturally. Now, what we're most interested in is locating the contact.
Naturally.
And that's where you fit in. We'd like you to gain this girl's confidence even further. Try to find out just what these messages mean, and beyond that, what the saucer said to her. You'll be doing us a favor and your country a great service.
You're certain this is some subversive activity on her part?
How else can you explain the fact that she won't tell us her secret?
Maybe because it's hers, and everybody has a right to have something of his own.
Are you, trying to tell me that you won't cooperate?
I didn't say that.
I'd like to remind you, Mr. Benides, that you have a duty to us.
I know that. I also have a duty to myself and to God. Now, if you'll excuse me. I folded the bottle message and put it in my pocket. I waited for her to show up. The minutes went by, and the hours, and I knew she wasn't coming. Or she had come and seen me with the chief and changed her mind. That's when I left the cafe and walked down to the beach. That's when I dragged her out of the surf before she could follow one of her bottles into the water. How do you feel now? Are you cold?
Why should you care?
I do.
Is that why you were sitting with the security chief in the cafe?
I didn't arrange that meeting. He asked me to spy on you.
I suppose he told you about the bottle.
Yes.
Wonder how much of the taxpayers' money they've spent gathering them up. I think they'd get tired of it. All the writing in the bottles is the same.
Maybe you could have saved a lot of trouble.
Do you think so? All of them. Judges, jailers, jukeboxes, people. Do you really think it would have saved me a minute's trouble if I told them the whole truth at the very beginning?
Wouldn't it?
No. They wouldn't have believed me. What they wanted was a new weapon. Some super scientific super science from some alien super race. Science. That's all they think of.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
Would it ever have occurred to them that this super race from another planet might have super feelings? Or super longings? Or super loneliness? No. All they think about is weapons. Isn't it time you asked me what the saucer said?
No.
They all ask me.
I don't have to ask you. I know.
You know?
Let me read it to you. There is in certain living souls a quality of loneliness unspeakable. So great it must be shared as company is shared by lesser beings. Such a loneliness is mine. So know by this that in immensity there is one lonelier than you.
How did you know?
It's the message you put in the bottles. The same message that some lonely, strange being in some other world put into a bottle, only his bottle was a flying saucer and sent across space to you.
You knew.
I'm lonely too. Look at me. I've never had the love of a woman. They think I'm pretty ugly.
You're not ugly.
No. I don't feel ugly right now.
Say it again. The message from the saucer.
Know by this that in immensity there is one lonelier than you.
I wonder if whoever first wrote it has found someone.
I think perhaps he has. She looked at me and said nothing. But it was as if a light came from her. More light than even the practiced moon could cast. Among the many things it meant was the fact that even to loneliness there is an end for those who are lonely enough, long enough.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features I Am a Nucleus by Stephen Barr, the story of a man who felt he was hexed because his comfortably untidy world had suddenly turned into a monstrosity of order. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Saucer of Loneliness, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Theodore Sturgeon and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Elaine Rost as Janet, Nat Polan as Jason, William Keane as the sergeant, Jock McGregor as the cop, Mandel Kramer as the chief, and Wendell Holmes as the senator. This is Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Fred Way and is an NBC Radio Network production.
The Magic Island has become a place of dread terror and weird scientific happenings. Mrs. Gregory, Captain Bradford, and Jerry Hall are constantly watched by the mastermind of the strange colony on the Isle of Euclidia. Joan, the long-lost little daughter of Mrs. Gregory, has been found on the island and wants to escape with her mother and her new friends. But this seems impossible. Captain Bradford is confined in a cell. And as Jerry talks to him through the solid, yet translucent wall, the captain chokes, seizes his throat, and falls.
Captain Bradford,
Tex, what happened to you? Oh, gee, I got to do... Joan told me not to touch this wall. It's charged with electricity. But I've got to do something for Tex. That crazy old sinus G47 has done this. I'll find him. Help, somebody. G47, Joan, Mrs. Gregory, help. Mrs. Gregory, help.
Here I am, Jerry. What's the matter?
Come here quickly, Mrs. Gregory. Hurry.
What's happened, Jerry? You look badly shaken up.
Captain Bradford. Tex, in the cell. Something choked him.
Oh.
He choked and fell down.
Where is he now?
Right here, in this cell.
We've got to do something for him.
Don't touch that wall. It's charged. I didn't go in there, but here comes C-47 now. He'll know what to do.
Did he do this to Tex?
I think so. Tex and I were talking about...
What is all the screaming about, you young fool? What is going on here?
You know what's going on.
What have you done to Captain Bradford?
I have done nothing to him. I have ways of knowing what is going on in the cells. I heard this young fool and the captain plotting against me.
But what did you do to the captain?
I did nothing to him.
You did, too. He was talking to me, then he started to choke. He grabbed his throat and fell over.
So? There is something wrong here. Come with me. We'll have a look in this cell. I ordered nothing done. It is possible that one of my assistants ordered the gas turned into the cell accidentally.
Hurry, then. He may be dead by now.
That would depend on what kind of gas was given.
He started to turn black in the face.
That is bad. We must hurry. You may come in also.
Look out. Don't touch that wall.
Have no fear. When you ran screaming from the cell, I had the current turned off. We will enter.
Oh, Tex. Tex, what happened to you, Tex?
Keep your face away from his, madame. If it is the lethal gas, one breath of it from his respiratory organs in their natural constriction and you would be... Oh, no. He breathes. Strange. What could have happened?
Well, let's do something.
Yes, anything, only hurry.
Well, something is amiss here. I have never had an accident like this. You, young man.
Yes?
Do you know artificial respiration?
Sure I do.
Administer it at once. I have cut all communication to this cell. I must return to my quarters to establish contact with the laboratory again. I will have aid here in less than 90 seconds.
Work fast, Jerry. I know how to do it. Let me help.
Quiet, both
Why
of you.
he text you?
Quiet, I said. We have just about a minute. He said all communication was cut off from this cell, so no one will overhear us. I'm all right. Just faked this so Jerry would run out yelling and give us this chance.
You sure scared me.
All right, hurry. You have a plan, Tex. What is it?
We'll never get this chance again, so listen closely. At all other times, they can see and hear all we do, no matter where we are on the island or on the yacht. But they must have something to protect themselves against the very thing they have developed.
I don't see...
I do. They figure someone else might be smart enough to invent rays and beams and all that, and they have something that will stop all those things.
Exactly, son. Now, here's the plan. We'll find out what that material is. It's either cloth, wood, or metal which shields out all rays and cannot be dissolved by gases or light rays. And sound and visibility will not penetrate it. We'll get our hands on some of that stuff. Pick an excuse to spend our time on the yacht, smuggle that material aboard, and use it to shield our radio while we signal the world, or escape from here. Now, you got all that?
Every word of it. And I'll get G47 to take me on a tour of all the machines and laboratories and find out what it is.
I'll work too, Tex. Maybe Joan will know.
Quiet. I think I felt a vibration through these walls. Work on me, quick.
Gee, Mrs. Gregory, he's breathing all right, but he doesn't seem to wake up very fast.
Oh, Jerry, what can we do? Why doesn't help come?
There is no need to worry, madame. And you, Hall, you may cease trying to tear the captain's arms out by the roots.
What's it all about?
We can't wake him. Do something for him.
If he dies, I'll get you for this G47.
Your threats are foolish, and you know it. You cannot harm me.
Never mind that. What happened to Tex?
One of my assistants in the laboratory R3 was working with a new 800-second paralyzing ray. A beam of it must have escaped and cut through this cell.
Then Captain Bradford will be all right?
You mean he'll come out of it just like Joan and I did?
Yes, he will. If it was the 800-second ray, he should be over the effects of it in just 20 seconds, as I figure it from the time you screamed.
Did you time it exactly when I screamed?
Naturally. Our disturbance indicator records every slight shock, even of a voice. Records it to the fraction of a second. And all our personal chronometers are synchronized with that.
Golly, what a place this is. A wristwatch is a personal chronometer.
One thing is exactly the same here as in your world.
I'd like to know what it is.
A talkative young fool.
What are you two arguing about now?
Oh, Tex, what's happened to you?
Oh, we were scared. I saw you start to choke and fall.
Jerry ran for me. Then we got G47. He says it was an accident.
I don't like your accidents, Chief.
It was entirely an accident. Nothing will happen to you. Nothing of a serious nature. So long as you remain quiet and do not attempt to escape. Oh, but this is most irregular.
That's irregular enough for me, all right. I'm not in the habit of choking myself to sleep.
Ah, that is the irregularity I refer to. You, Jerry Hall, when the 60-second ray was turned on you, you did not choke, did you?
Why, no. Ouch!
Oh, sorry I kicked you, kid. Guess I'm a little clumsy from my nap.
Answer the question, Jerry. G47 is trying to find out something about what happened to Captain Bradford. And answer it carefully.
Yeah, very good, madame. I see you are learning the necessity for accuracy in our work.
Well, if there's liable to be any more accidents like this, I think we should all help to clear it up.
Very good. Well, Hall, answer my question. Did you feel a choking sensation from the ray?
I guess I did. I don't know. I did a little, but it happened so quickly. Well, I didn't have time to try and move like Captain Bradford did.
Oh, yes. I think that will be it. You were directly in the path of the ray when I used it on you. But this was a stray beam that escaped from the laboratory. And it must have struck Captain Bradford at a tangent. Then as he fell, he got the full force of the center of the beam.
Well, whatever it was, I've had about enough of it. Shall we go to the yacht now and make ourselves comfortable? You know we haven't any quarters ashore yet.
I was going to suggest that you make your home on the yacht for the time. Some of my assistants have been busy there. You will be observed just as if on the island. And I think you know now what that means.
It means that you can see and hear all we do when you want to. And it would be foolish to try to escape.
Exactly. I may build you permanent quarters on the island tomorrow. Oh, but it takes nearly 1,800 seconds to build a proper apartment for a lady. I cannot spare my assistants tonight.
Boy, half an hour to build a house and he's too busy.
All right, may we go now? I said... Where is he?
He's gone, just like a breath.
You forget, you can step through any of these walls if the juice is turned off. The walls all move without a sound.
Good boy, Jerry. Keep a level head on your shoulders. We mustn't let this weird stuff get us to believing in ghosts.
That wouldn't be hard to do after seeing and hearing these things. But we must remember that these people are merely clever scientists. And all they have done, we can do.
Now you're talking, Mrs. Gregory. We can figure it all out if we don't get too excited. And I do believe one thing that old Frankenstein told us.
Well, he doesn't bluff. And in his position, he doesn't have to lie to us. So we'd better believe all he tells us.
Yeah, but I meant what he said about being safe as long as we don't try to escape. It was surely lucky you kicked me when we were talking about... Ouch! Oh, gee, I'm sorry.
Watch it, son. Now, Pat, you and Jerry come with me. We'll go back to the yacht for the night.
I wonder if they'd let Joan stay on the yacht with us. If not, I'll spend the night with her on the island.
I imagine it'd be all right, unless she knows too many things about the island. Things she might tell us.
I'll go see G47 and ask him.
May I go, please? You and Captain Bradford go down to the yacht, and I'll get Joan and bring her down there.
We'll hurry over to the yacht, Tex. I can fix my cabin up nicely for Joan, and I want to get some pictures to show her.
Funny place, this island. Seemed about half a mile when we sailed around it, but it's only a few steps to walk across it.
They've certainly used every inch of space here. The whole thing is weird, even the names. Euclidia, G47, Cleostra. Oh, Tex, if we ever get back to the world, what a story we can tell. If we ever get back.
We'll get back. Jerry and Joan ought to be able to find what we were discussing.
There are the lights of the yacht. Yonder, I wonder where the skipper is.
Nothing would get him excited. He's probably having a good sleep in his bunk, waiting to wake up and find it all a dream. Well, here we are, just as we left it. What? Oh, the glasses again, eh?
Someone took my glasses off, too. I didn't even brush against my skin.
But why didn't we see someone before the glasses were taken off?
There are many things on this island that even these glasses will not aid you to see. The young fools will be with you in a moment. Sleep well, my friends. I will watch over you. I will watch over you.
Yes, and he will, too. It looks almost hopeless, Pat.
Now, Tex, remember your own advice. Don't lose your head.
Oh, I know it's all a lot of clever tricks, but they get on your nerves. Those glasses disappearing, for instance. G47 merely had to paint his hands and face, or wore a mask or gloves of some material which would not reflect visible rays through those glasses we had on.
We're going to be allowed to see just what they want us to see, and no more.
The whole deck sure sounds good after walking without making a sound for so long.
Sounds like we were back in our own world again.
When Jerry and Joan get here... Say, Pat, I've got it. You remember what we decided?
You mean what we could use to...
Yes. Well, Joan has it. Has it with her right now.
I don't understand.
You will. In less than a minute, I'll be talking to you. And nobody on this island will hear what I say.
When Jerry Hall, Mrs. Gregory, and Captain Bradford sailed from Los Angeles in search of a mysterious hidden island, they found Mrs. Gregory's long-lost little girl, Joan. The rest of their discoveries are almost unbelievable. The Gregory yacht was pulled to the island by a powerful magnetic force and is now tied up there, with all on board prisoners of the mad scientist, G47. Mrs. Gregory and Joan are in one cabin on the yacht, while Captain Tex Bradford and Jerry talk excitedly in the radio cabin.
Yeah, I got it all right, but I still don't see where it's going to do us any good.
Joan didn't come to the door of the cabin, did she? I mean, so that anyone could see she had her mother's dress on.
No, she was so scared of what old G47 would do to her when he found out we had the dress, well, that she was ready to hide under the bunk.
Well, we'll see to it that G47 doesn't have a chance to do anything to her. Now, we'll have to work fast, because by now someone on the island probably knows we have the dress and heard all we said about it. So hurry and get your head into it. No, not that way. Just pull the skirt over your head. That's better. Now I'll get under it, too.
Good thing these dresses are plenty big and loose. But it's going to be mighty hot in there awful quick.
And we'll be done with our little job mighty quick.
What good can we do with this dress? You said just now they'd know we had it.
We've got to hurry, so listen closely while I explain it.
This is the nuttiest thing I ever heard of. What would people think if they could see us with a girl's dress wrapped around our heads, using it for a hood?
Well, it may sound foolish, but the material of this dress of Joan's is the first ray of hope we've had. Now we can talk in safety and make a few plans for the first time since we hit this island. I knew there must be some way to talk in privacy here.
You mean the stuff this dress is made of will keep out the sound waves? Or whatever it is they use to hear everything that goes on around here?
Yes, Jerry, I'm sure of it. You know, a good scientist never compounds a poison without knowing the antidote. For his own protection, if nothing else. Likewise, a good scientist would never devise a weapon, gas, beam, or ray, one that would be almost universally penetrating or destructive, without first protecting himself, should his own invention ever be turned against him.
But those sound waves they hear through walls and clothing, they're not destructive. Well, they don't hurt anybody, even if they do let old G47 hear all we say.
That's true, but it makes everyone on this island virtually a prisoner. No one has any privacy, even in your own room. Every sound and action is recorded somewhere in their laboratories. Nevertheless, we may safely reason that G47 and his leading assistants, the brains of this mad setup, must have privacy. They conduct their experiments and discuss plans without the remainder of the colony hearing them. They must.
But how do you figure the cloth this dress is made of is the stuff they do it?
Every suit and dress on the islands, every bit of cloth I've seen here is the same stuff.
But G47 put Joan to sleep with that harmless ray just as easy as he did me. And her dress is made of that stuff.
Yes, but if you had been awake to see her get the ray, you would probably have seen him point at her head or hands.
What is this cloth, anyway? I mean, where did he get it?
We'll find out in time, but let's hurry with this plan. Someone might decide to board the yacht just to make sure we're behaving ourselves.
Okay, Tex. What are we going to do?
All right, here's a setup. When we get out from under this dress, we'll take it and put it over the radio. Be sure it's under and around the whole thing.
I got it. Then one of us can put our head inside the dress and work the set. And G47 can't tell we're doing it.
I'm going to let you do this. You know what to say to Johnson if you get him. Give him our position and say to stand by for information on how to rescue us. Tell him not to attempt rescue without instructions.
Gee, then what can Johnson do if I do get word to him?
He can't do anything now, but we've got to figure how to get control of the power on this island. We could use their knowledge for the greatest scientific age in the world. But I feel sure that their intentions are not to aid the world, but to destroy it.
Oh, golly. Let's get going.
Now, operate the set on the usual wavelength, and I'll set the directional beam reflector due north. We're outside of the listening post around the inner circle of the island, and this beam won't make the slightest disturbance anywhere except due north. The set is all warmed up now.
Already now?
Already, son. And we'll just slip out from under this thing and cover the set with it. Then I'll go out on deck and stroll near this cabin door in case everyone gets curious. Go to it, and don't talk to me again. Don't say anything until you're covered up with that set. Inside this dress now. Then send the message. Now, out we go.
Gee, it's a mighty tight squeeze in here. Guess I'm ready to go. J12C, J12C, J24Y to J12, Jerry Hall on J24Y, calling J12C. Hello, Johnson. Hello, J12. Oh, golly, something's wrong. I can't raise him. Well, guess I'll just have to try again. J12C. Hello.
To J24Y. Hello, J24. Go ahead, Jerry. Go ahead.
Boy, here he is. Hello, J12C. This is Jerry Hall on J24Y. Captain Bradford wants you to get this. Copy it. Repeat. Then stand by. Here it is. Our position. Latitude 29 degrees south. Longitude 124.30 west. Danger here, but do not attempt rescue. Stand by for information on how to rescue us. Get that? Do not attempt rescue without information. Repeat, J12.
J12C to J24Y. Repeating. Your position, 29 degrees south, 124 degrees, 30 minutes west. You are in danger. Standing by for information how to rescue. Confirm, repeat.
Okay, J12. Repeat, okay. Jerry Hall standing by for Captain Bradford. That's all, J12. Now I can get out of this dress. Oh, boy. That feels better.
Hello, kid. How did you enjoy your rest?
Oh, I had a swell sleep, Tex. I dreamed I used this radio set again, but nobody was spying on me. I talked to Johnson in Los Angeles, and he knows we're here.
Great dream, son, but there's no chance of it ever coming true the way we're watched. G47 knows all we say and do. I wonder.
Maybe it's one of the crew.
No, they're all asleep.
Shall I open it?
Wait a minute. I'll hide the dress.
Oh, heck.
I might have known it.
You must pardon my rudeness in entering unbidden, but as long as anyone could have seen and heard all you were doing through the portholes you so kindly left open in every cabin, I surmised you were not discussing anything secret.
Just discussing our situation here and wondering how long it'll be before we can get away from this island. You knew we would be discussing that without my telling you.
Precisely. And even if I could not see that you have Cleostra's dress there, I would know that the material of the dress had been used for some purpose.
How would you know that?
Never mind that, Jerry. It's enough that he knows we were using it. And, of course, he knows why we were using it.
You displayed some small intelligence in your ideas about the material, Captain. And you have undoubtedly discovered that the fabric is impervious to beams and rays of our sound and light transmission spectrum.
I have. That didn't take much figuring.
Tomorrow, you may visit the laboratories where the fabric is made. You may have enough of it to drape the inside and outside of this boat, if you wish. I have no desire to intrude upon your privacy. I merely came to warn you that while your childish and unsuccessful attempts to reach the outside world merely amuse me, your first successful attempt will mean your end.
Well, we're going to try it just the same. You can't get away with this forever, and you know it.
Steady now, Jerry. No use losing your head about it. Well, G47, I want to tell you plainly that if there is any way I can get my friends out of your grasp, I'm going to attempt it.
You are a fool, Captain. A brave one, possibly, but nevertheless a fool. Your life would mean nothing to me.
I happen to know better, for I have something you want.
Yes, you clever meddler, you have. And you know that I will keep you alive until I wrest your secret from you. The only thing in the universe we Euclideans have failed to master. And as long as you live, I know that in some way, at some time, I will get your secret.
Well, you can't torture it out of me, and you're not a magician. How will you do all this?
The time will come when you will be glad to exchange your secret for the freedom of your friends and yourself.
Nothing doing on that. If Captain Bradford has something you want, we'll stay right on your island for the rest of our lives. All of us. But you'll never get it.
You see how it is, G47? You're just wasting your breath.
Yes, and Joan wants to stay with her mother and the rest of us. She belongs to our world, and she's going back to it with us.
Cleostra may stay with you, and she will save you a lot of worry by telling you as much about the island in an hour as you could learn by watching us work for a month. But she will have to be content with your descriptions of the world. She will never see it, except as a loyal subject of Euclidia, when we Euclideans rule the universe.
Do you mind going now? We've got things to do, and your boasting and bragging gets on my nerves.
It is a pleasure to leave such hopeless company.
Well, maybe we're not as hopeless as you think.
Quiet, Jerry.
You need not warn the boy, Captain. I heard his little radio message to Johnson.
Gee, the dress was no good, Tex.
So, the dress didn't work, eh?
The material of the dress worked perfectly, but your radio beam was intercepted as it passed through our magnetic fog.
Well, then, if you heard my message to Johnson, why did you let me give him our position and warn him of our danger?
Don't you know that radio message will bring a fleet of battleships down on you if anything happens to us?
On the contrary, you have protected me nicely. Johnson will take orders and execute them accurately. You ordered him not to move in your rescue. Your position means nothing. You had previously given him that as the yacht was held to the magnetic fog. If you had not tried this wild scheme tonight, there was a chance your Los Angeles agents might have acted on their own incentive to rescue you. But you have blocked that yourself. You have prevented your own rescue, and I will prevent your rescue.
Exploring Tomorrow. And now, here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell.
When men start a new project, it starts with a plan. The plan has to be carried out, worked through, the details arranged for. You don't have any trouble until the thing you did not expect turns up. So far, human research has achieved an unmanned satellite in space. The sole purpose of any of these devices, any machine, is to serve human beings. The machine goes first to try things out, but the sole purpose of doing it is so that men can follow. And women, too. But there are problems of purely human nature that sometimes complicate the most scientific of plans.
Champagne. Oh, there you are, my dearest. My darling, my love, champagne.
Oh, good heavens, Jeff. You think we were getting married all over again?
Oh, why not? Let's make this our second wedding day. A celebration to end all celebrations. Besides, it is almost our first anniversary. Happy almost first anniversary, Lieutenant Alice Britton.
Oh, no. No, if this is going to be a late wedding feast, you must call me Mrs. Captain Jeffrey Britton. I demand my rights as a legally wedded wife, even if you do outrank me.
Don't giggle. It's not proper for an officer in the United States Space Service to giggle. And for goodness sake, don't tell me the champagne bubbles tickle your nose.
Oh, they don't. I love the stuff. Pour me another.
Another, my dear Mrs. Britton. That was the finest half pint of domestic champagne available, which is all a mere captain can afford. There is no more.
For shame. The finest rocket pilot in the United States, and you can't even afford another bottle?
No, not even for a going-away party.
Oh, Jeff. It is a going-away party, isn't it? I won't see you for 6 months.
Now, come on, sweetheart. Don't cloud up and rain. It's good duty, and you'll be back soon. 6 months isn't forever, you know.
Oh, I know. But being stuck up on an artificial satellite for 6 months without you isn't my idea of fun.
Oh, look, sweetheart, you'll like it up there. It's the oldest and biggest of our manned space stations. It has plenty of room inside and a crew of 400 officers and men. It even rotates on its axis to give you artificial gravity. At least you don't have to worry about space sickness.
Oh, Jeff, don't be so serious. It's not the fact that I have to be up there that bothers me. It's just that I'm going to miss you.
Ah, I thank you so much for that. I'll miss you, too. But there's nothing we can do about it.
How right you are. The Space Service has no use whatsoever for personal feelings. Except, of course, that they hope you don't get killed. Do you know what?
I give up what?
I was shown an instruction film. Told all about Space Station 1. You know how safe it is. Did you know that every compartment has individual heating and oxygen supply in case of emergency? And did you know that all the walls are filled with a plastic self-sealing compound like a car tire, so that if a small meteor hits it, it won't lose too much air?
Well, sure, it's safe. 1,000 miles straight up over Earth, and you're as safe as in your bed at home.
Hooray for safety! And now, my dear cheapskate husband, will you do me the favor of buying me another bit of champagne? Or will I have to buy it myself?
Oh, darling, this is our last night together for 6 months. So I suppose I'll have to buy more champagne. Hey, waiter!
Nurse Jenkins, send in Lieutenant Britton.
She'll be right in, Doctor.
You wanted to see me, Major James?
I certainly do. Being medical officer of Space Station 1 isn't an easy job under any circumstances. But you have made it 10 times as difficult.
I didn't mean to cause you any trouble, sir.
Well, you certainly have. I just got the laboratory report. The test was positive.
It was? Oh, that's wonderful.
Wonderful? What do you mean, wonderful?
Well,
My dear Lieutenant Britton, has it escaped your flittery female mind that you were in Space Station 1 in an orbit more than 1,000 miles from the surface of Earth? Have you forgotten that?
No, sir.
Well, if I had Captain Britton up here, I'd personally break his neck, but he's not. He's safe down on Earth while you're the one who's going to have the baby.
Major James, neither my husband nor I intended this to happen.
Of course not, but he did, nevertheless. Oh. I suppose it's not your fault, Lieutenant, but it leaves me in an awkward position. What are we going to do? This is a space satellite, not an obstetrics ward. I have neither the drugs nor the equipment to take care of you.
Of course not. You'll have to send me back down to Earth when the next rocket leaves.
What? You've been up here 2 months now, and your baby is due in another 7 months. Do you think I would risk sending you down to Earth in a rocket at 9 gravities of acceleration? Not at this stage of the game, Lieutenant.
How can I stay here?
There's nothing else you can do. I'll have to contact the hospital at White Sands Rocket Base and have them send up the equipment I need on the regular supply rockets. Whether we like it or not, you'll be staying with us for a while. And we're going to have to take very good care of you. Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
This is Bill Goodwin. You know, someone once said humor is the true democracy. And that's why we Americans can smile when we tell the stories of the legendary heroes who helped to build our country's great institutions and industries. Like Bowleg Bill, hero of the tuna fishing industry. Back in Provincetown, Massachusetts, they claimed that when it came to hauling in the horse mackerel, as the Eastern is called tuna, Bill could handle 2 gaffs at once and catch more than any 6 men put together. And they're still talking about the time Bill caught old Slick Britches, the biggest horse mackerel of them all. No one could ever get his hooks into Slick Britches, who weighed 2,000 pounds and had a tail 6 feet long. But Bowleg Bill promised to land him single-handed. He set out in his boat, toss-up, and when he spotted Slick Britches, he made a grab for him, but the tuna slipped through his hands. So Bill dove over the side, and before folks knew what had happened, Bill was sitting astride old Slick Britches, who was bucking like a bronco. He leaped almost a mile out of the water, but Bill hung on. All over the harbor they went, jumping and leaping, but still Bill hung on. Fight leap over the toss-up, and then calmed down, all the fight gone out of him. Bill steered him toward shore, but all of a sudden he headed him back out to sea, slapped the tuna's tail, and jumped off. Now, folks were mighty disappointed when Slick Britches disappeared, but it was like Bill told them. There's nothing that'll break a cowhand's heart so quick as to find a critter with the ruff all rode off at the first mount. Yes, sir, it is a democracy which lets us tell the stories of such a legendary character as Bowleg Bill with a twinkle in our eyes and a chuckle in our throats. And so long as we continue to laugh together as a people, ladies and gentlemen, we will live together as a nation.
Alice had called attention to the fact that the space station had not been adequately designed. It had been designed all right to take care of men and of women, but taking care of human individuals is not enough if we are to really enter the space stage. We have to take care of the human race. That's something Alice was bringing to attention.
Here's some more of the laboratory reports on Lieutenant Alice Britton, Doctor.
Oh, yes, from her last checkup. How is she doing this?
Seems to be doing quite well, Doctor. The light gravity is helping, I think.
Oh, only 59 days to go. Less than 2 months, if our figuring is correct. I have nearly all the equipment I need now, and by the time she's ready, it'll all be here.
I've been checking it off the list as the supply rockets unload each piece. You don't have far to go.
You know, Nurse, 5 months ago when I found out that Lieutenant Britton was going to have a baby, I was really worried. But now it looks as though there's going to be nothing to it. One of the doctors from White Sands Rocket Base is coming up next month to help, and everything ought to go pretty smoothly. But I was sure worried for a while.
Why were you worried, Doctor?
After all, women aren't supposed to go around having babies in space stations.
Well, it looks as though Lieutenant Britton's going to set a precedent.
Good heavens, I hope not. If all the women in the Space Service get that idea, we'll be running a nursery up here, not a fueling station.
Well, you'll just have to.
Emergency signal. There's been an accident.
Phone, Doctor.
Yeah, I'll get it. Sick ward, Major James speaking. What? Have you got her out of there? Well, then put her on a stretcher and get her to Ward 3. I'll be right down.
What happened, Doctor?
A small meteorite hit Section 6, and Lieutenant Britton was in there when it happened. They're bringing her up now, but there's no way of knowing how badly she's hurt. Be careful. Easy now.
Oh.
Now put the stretcher down on the bed.
Oh.
Easy. That's it, yeah. Now just take it easy, Lieutenant. All right, men. She'll be all right now. Thanks. Close the door, huh, please.
Oh. I hurt all over.
You'll be okay. Nurse Jenkins will bring down a hypo in a few minutes. You'll be all right.
I think I'll live, Major. But my ears are still ringing.
Well, you must have lost air. Can you tell me what happened?
I was in Section 6 checking some meters. All of a sudden, bam! A little meteor punctured the outer wall. Just a little bit of rock the size of a marble. But it was moving fast enough to put a hole in the wall.
It sure was. Then what?
When I wasn't hit, the air started going out into the vacuum of space. The wall is self-sealing, but a lot of air left the room before the hole closed. The automatic door closed. My ears were ringing. Everything got fuzzy. I guess I fainted.
You're lucky the meteor was small and moving fairly slowly. Sealing compound in the wall closed the hole before you lost too much air, really. Your nose isn't bleeding. You haven't got the bends, at least.
No, but I'm afraid the baby's going to be here sooner than we expected.
Yes, it looks like it. Now, don't worry. 7-month babies are just as good as 9-month ones. And you're a pretty healthy girl. You'll be all right. And so will the baby.
I know we will. Take care of us, will you, Major?
Sure. Don't worry. That's what I'm here for. Remember? How is she, nurse?
Gave her a hypo. She'll be able to relax a little. She's lucky to be alive.
It's not all luck. Everything worked automatically. That's what saved her.
Oh, she's all right now. You want me to prepare the room next to hers as a delivery room? We'll need it soon.
Well, that's what I was afraid of. But how soon, do you think?
Not more than an hour or two, I'd say. What's the matter, Doctor? You look worried.
Your premature baby has to have a specialized environment. An incubator. If it doesn't, its chances of survival are small, right?
Well, yes.
Well, we haven't got an incubator. The nearest one is more than 1,000 miles away. Straight down.
The plans that had been made, again, were not sufficient. You know, many times, a man who is working with machines and knows the machine in full, understands what it does and its functions, has never recognized what its basic nature is. He's too close to it. It's the forest and the trees again. And sometimes somebody who really doesn't know as much about the machine understands it better.
Major James speaking. Yes, Colonel. From where? Europe. Yes, sir. Yes, I understand, sir. Very well, Colonel. Thank you. Oh, brother, that does it.
What's the matter now, sir?
Our message to White Sands was intercepted. The newscasters have gotten hold of the story. The communications officer just picked up a broadcast from Europe. Big stuff. First baby born in space. Emergency measures being taken. The whole world knows about it now, and everybody on Earth is praying for Lieutenant Britton and her baby. Big sob story.
Oh, Doctor, you may not like all the publicity, and maybe it isn't a good thing in some ways. But personally, I'm kind of glad it happened.
Oh? But why?
Doctor, that girl may need all that praying.
Better get things ready, nurse.
How long do we have?
Half an hour at the outside. I had Nurse Bryson fix up the preliminaries. Any news?
Oh, station commander called. He said that White Sands has assigned Captain Britton to pilot the rocket that's bringing up the incubator. She'll be glad to see him. She's supposed to have gone back to her some months ago.
Yeah, it'll probably do her good to see him.
How's she feeling now?
Oh, pretty fair. I think she'll be all right. She's got a lot of nerve, that one.
She'll need every bit of nerve if she loses that baby.
I know. You don't need to remind me. We need an incubator within half an hour, and there won't be one here for 2 hours. We haven't got it, and that's that. What can I do? I've tried everything.
Can't the construction crew build one?
Well, I thought of that first thing. I called the construction officer. He told me that there isn't any spare material up here to build one out of. It costs plenty to ship stuff up here by rocket, so they only order what they absolutely need.
Isn't there anything at all?
Well, not unless they cut holes in the space station. And that's what they're doing. They're ripping out one of the partitions. They'll use a heater from a wall and the oxygen apparatus from a spacesuit. They're trying to get it finished in time.
But they won't finish in time, is that it?
That's it. They'll get done about 15 minutes before the rocket gets here. There's just no time, that's all. Now, try to take it easy, Lieutenant. Don't rush things.
Well, I'm not rushing anything.
Well, now, don't worry about anything. You'll be all right.
I know. But I wish Jess was here.
Your husband is on his way, Lieutenant. He's taking a special rocket up from White Sands.
How long will it be? You'll have to hurry.
He'll be a little late, I'm afraid. We have the delivery room all ready. It won't be long now.
I know it won't. Did you get all the stuff you needed? How about the incubator? Well?
There isn't any incubator. I didn't take the possibility of a premature delivery into account. It's all my fault. But I've done what I could. Your husband is bringing an incubator up in the rocket. It won't be too long. I think we'll be able to keep the child in good health until he gets here. Lieutenant Britton. Alice, this is no time to get hysterical. Stop it.
I'm not hysterical, Doctor. You are. Look at you. You're so nervous. You can't even think straight.
What do you mean?
Well, figure it out for yourself. Take a look around you and ask yourself,
Why is a space station like an incubator?
Good heavens, of course, that's it.
Can I come in?
Yes. We finally made it. Come over here.
Hey, you look fine. How does it feel to be the most famous mother on earth? Huh? Or all of it?
Oh, I don't care about being famous. It's wonderful just to be a mother. And how do you feel, Daddy Britton?
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Say, I brought you an incubator, but Major James said you won't need it. I asked him why, and he said he felt too foolish about it to explain. He said I should ask you. What's the story?
Well, it was very funny. Poor man was running around in circles worrying about an incubator. He had you bring one up, and I understand he had the construction crew tearing down the walls to make one.
Really?
Really. And I finally asked him, why is a space station like an incubator? And he got it right away.
Got it? Got what?
Oh, don't you see, silly? A space station is a sort of an incubator. It protects us poor, weak humans from the airlessness and extremities of temperature in space. And each room of this station is a separate compartment. They can be self-sustaining if they have to.
So what did the Major do?
We just had one whole room isolated. You raised the temperature, pumped in extra oxygen, and bingo, he had an incubator.
Well, where is my son? I want to see him.
Your daughter, dear, and she's in the next room.
Huh?
Oh, but you can't go right in. You just wait. You've got a good many years ahead of you to get acquainted with her.
All right. I guess I just have to practice getting acquainted with you. Come here.
Mm-hmm.
There's the impression that science fiction has to do with machines. It's all about gadgets and ray guns. It isn't. That's why it's science fiction. It has to do with human beings and the problems that human beings will have with the machines we do and must live with. And if the machines aren't properly designed to recognize that their purpose is to serve humanity, they're no good either.
Heard in our cast tonight were Lawson Zerbe, Carol Teitel, and script was by Randell Garrett. Produced and directed by Sanford Martin in New York. Guy Wallace speaking. This is the world's largest network. We pause now for station identification.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman! Guys, look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. As you remember, Editor White, Kent, and Lois Lane were engaged in a campaign to oust District Attorney Parker from office, with information provided by Ralph Remsen, former assistant to Parker, who had resigned in protest against the DA's crooked policy. A baffling obstacle confronts them now, an invisible man who, though he cannot be seen, warns them against going through with their campaign. The invisible man has already attempted to blow up the Daily Planet, in which, however, he was thwarted by Superman. When we last saw them, Editor White, Kent, Lois, and Remsen were in the office of the mayor, who had just pledged his support, when the voice of the invisible man warned him to have no part in it. Listen.
Don't be misled, Mr. Mayor, into thinking that because I'm invisible, I can do you no harm.
This is preposterous. Look here, you people. Is this some sort of stupid trick you're playing on me? Some joke?
I wish it were only a joke, Your Honor. That voice you hear is the voice of the invisible man.
Ridiculous, Mr. White. There can't be such a thing as an invisible man.
It does sound ridiculous, doesn't it?
Of course, Mr. Remsen.
But we know there is an invisible man.
I'm afraid Mr. Remsen is right, Your Honor. You see, we've heard that voice before. The first time was in Editor White's office.
Yes, and then Mr. Kent and I heard it while we were having dinner in a restaurant. The invisible man actually sat down at the table with us.
And now, Mr. Mayor, you hear my voice here in your own office.
Incredible. It's some trick. It must be.
Trick or no trick, Your Honor, be warned in time. Give your assistance to this campaign against my friend, District Attorney Parker, and you'll regret it.
I refuse to be intimidated. I shall certainly give my support to any campaign.
Wait, please. In a moment, Mr. Mayor, your telephone will ring. After you have answered the telephone, you will change your mind.
Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. I certainly don't... Mr. Kent, what are you doing at that closet? What right have you, sir, to open that closet and examine the inside?
Yes, Clark. What's the idea?
Nothing, Chief. I was just sort of looking around.
Looking for what, sir?
Why, I don't know, a dictaphone or
a telephone.
Yes, Your Honor, your phone is ringing. Pick it up and answer it. Or perhaps you are afraid.
Afraid? Why should I be afraid? Hello? Yes, this is the mayor speaking. Oh, yes, my dear. What's that? Yes? Yes? I see. Gentlemen, Miss Lane, I'm afraid I must withdraw my support. There is nothing I can do for you.
But, Mr. Mayor...
Phone call, Mr. Mayor. What was it about?
Let me answer that. That was the mayor's wife. She called to tell him that she and her young daughter had just been in an automobile accident.
No, she knew all the time.
An accident, Mr. Mayor, from which they barely escaped with their lives. A truck crashed into their car. Wasn't that it?
Yes. That was it. Gentlemen, Miss Lane, I hope you understand. I'm no coward. But my wife, my little daughter, well, they mean more to me, far more than any political career.
We can't blame you, sir. It's the human thing to do.
What's that blasted invisible man? Kent. Yes, sir.
A little while ago, you mentioned a dictaphone.
Yes?
You said there might be one concealed in this office.
Well, I just had an idea that maybe...
Your idea must be right. Mr. Mayor, I suggest we search this office and search it thoroughly. If we don't find a dictaphone or some such thing concealed around here, I'll be very much surprised.
Mr. White, I think you've got something. Let's start looking for that dictaphone. Miss Kent, suppose you search the next office very carefully.
Right, sir.
Mr. Remsen, you take that little office in there.
All right, Mr. Mayor.
Miss Lane and Mr. White will help me search this office. It's larger than the others and will take more time. Now, don't spare a thing. Search the closet, pull up the rugs. But be sure you leave nothing untouched.
Oh, this is very amusing. No, Mr. White, not in that closet. Why not try the other?
If I could get my hands on you...
Fascinating, isn't it? Perhaps I'm in the mold.
Shut up, will you? Shut up!
Oh, this is nerve-wracking.
Oh, Mr. Benson, there's a couch in that office you're in. Look behind that.
Don't worry, I will.
Your Honor, Mr. White.
Yes, boss?
I know where the invisible man is.
No.
I just saw the shadow of someone out there on the fire escape. I barely saw it, but there's someone on that fire escape outside the window.
Lois, if you're right...
Come on, White. Unless I miss my guess, this solves the mystery of the invisible man. Oh, wait. I have a gun in my desk. Yeah, there. Now then, White. You throw open the window, and I'll cover whoever's out there with this automatic.
Right. All set?
Yes.
Then here goes.
Don't move. You're on fire. Do you hear me?
Clark.
It's Kent. Oh, what on earth you...
Sorry if I've upset you. I was just doing a little investigating out here, and I thought...
Never mind what you thought. How did you get out on this fire escape? You were in the other office. This fire escape doesn't reach to the window of that office. Why, it would take a Superman to leap across the space between.
Well, you see, I came up from below. I went through your office.
We didn't see you.
No, you were too busy searching the room to notice me. I went below to the office under this one, got out on the fire escape, and came up.
And we thought you were the invisible man.
And no doubt. You see how stupid you all were.
That voice.
The invisible man again.
Will somebody give me a hand through this window, please?
Okay, come on. You and your fire escapes.
And his dictaphone, too. Friends, I hope you realize now that I can and do call the turn without the need of mechanical contrivances. I'm sure all of you can see the wisdom of giving up this campaign against District Attorney Parker.
I don't know what to do. Well, I do. Yes, Benson? I haven't waited months for this chance to put Parker behind bars to throw it away now. I say, let's go ahead with this campaign.
That's right. Bravo, Mr. Remsen. Most courageous. Also most foolhardy.
I agree with Mr. Remsen. Let's go ahead with the campaign.
I don't know about that.
What's that, Kent?
I say let's drop the whole business.
Why, what do you mean, Kent? You certainly don't mean you'd be willing to give up this campaign to break a crook like District Attorney Parker?
Why not, Chief? I'm a reporter, not a crusader. My job is to expose the news, not expose crooks. Now, you'll forgive my saying this, Your Honor, but if you yourself are afraid to support this campaign against Parker, well, why should we risk our necks?
But the mayor's thinking of his family, his wife and daughters, not himself.
Well, that's so, but... well, where are we without the mayor's support?
I'll tell you where we are, Kent. If the mayor can't help us, then the governor can. Lois, you and I'll drive upstate tonight and see the governor first thing in the morning. I'll get action on this campaign if it's the last thing I do.
Hello? Yes, this is District Attorney Parker. Who? Oh, hello, Lucky. Yeah? Now, wait a minute, Lucky. Yes, I know all about the story in the Daily Planet. Well, what can I do about it? What? Now, wait a minute, Lucky. Don't get tough with me. What? All right. All right, goodbye. As if I could do anything to stop Remsen and frighten them. Come in. Oh, who the devil?
Close the door, Parker.
Oh, the invisible man again.
Glad to see me, Parker?
You've got a nerve not showing your face around here.
Relax, Parker. You've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that's what you said last time. And between then and now, 2 stories have been published in the Daily Planet.
I know, but...
There are no buts. Now get this. I promised you $100,000 to do this job. Fail me and you don't get a cent. Not one red cent.
Listen to me, Parker. I've come to let you know that the campaign against you is as good as finished.
I'll believe that when I read it in the papers. Or rather, when I don't read it.
I mean what I say. The one man who's really bent on seeing you run out of office is Editor Perry White of the Daily Planet. The one way to stop this campaign is to get rid of Editor White.
So what? What are you getting at?
Tonight, White and Lois Lane are driving up to see the governor at the Executive Mansion. From the city to the governor's mansion is a trip of about 140 miles. I have so arranged it that something will happen to their car at exactly the 100th mile.
100th mile? What have you done? Placed a bomb in the car?
No, Parker. Nothing as crude as that.
Oh, I get it. You're going to have a truck crash into them or something, huh?
No. That might not succeed. The plan I have thought out cannot fail. When White and Miss Lane reach the 100th mile of their trip, it will be the end of them and their campaign against you.
Yes, but what have you done to the car?
You'll have to wait and see, Parker. What time is it?
It's close to 10 o'clock. Why?
10 o'clock. White and Lois Lane left about 2 hours ago. They should be nearing the 100-mile mark of their trip right now.
Any for your thoughts, Lois?
What? Oh, I was just thinking.
About Kent?
Yes.
Funny, his acting the way he did, wanting to give up this campaign against Parker.
Oh, he's never been very courageous, but... Well, I never thought he was that cowardly.
Best forget it. Tired?
A little. Yeah, you're certainly pushing this car along. Must be doing 70.
Yeah, not much traffic on the highway this time of night.
How far do we still have to go before we reach the executive mansion?
About 40 miles, I'd say. Let's see. Yeah, the 100-mile mark is just coming up. Another mile and a quarter, and we'll have covered exactly 100 miles.
Another mile and a quarter, and our friends will reach the 100-mile mark. What will happen? What has the Invisible Man done to Editor White's car? And will Superman be able to help Lois and White? Be sure to hear the next exciting episode of our story with Superman.
And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a plane! It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman. Guys, look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. As you remember, Editor White, Kent, Lois Lane, and Ralph Remsen had gone to the mayor to enlist his aid in the campaign against District Attorney Parker, whose crooked practices, they believed, made him unfit for office. The mayor had pledged his support when the Invisible Man, strange and baffling ally of the crooked DA, warned him against it by involving the mayor's wife and daughter in a near-fatal accident. Then Kent surprised everybody by refusing to have anything more to do with the campaign himself. As our story opens today, we join White and Lois, who are driving alone to see the governor in the state capital 140 miles away.
Ready for your thoughts, Lois?
What? Oh, I was just thinking.
About Kent?
Yes.
Funny his acting the way he did, wanting to give up this campaign against Parker.
Oh, he's never been very courageous, but... Well, I never thought he was that cowardly.
Yeah, best forget it. Tired?
A little. Say, you're certainly pushing this car along. Must be doing 70.
Well, there's not much traffic on the highway this time of night.
How far do we still have to go before we reach the governor's mansion?
About 40 miles, I'd say. Let's see. Yes, the 100-mile mark is just coming up. Another mile and a quarter, and we will have covered exactly 100 miles.
Onward the car roars at 70 miles an hour, headlights boring into the black night, onward to certain destruction. Meanwhile, at the offices of the Daily Planet, Clark Kent talks to Ralph Remsen, the man responsible for the campaign against Parker, unaware that his friends are in danger. Listen.
Exactly what makes you so anxious, Remsen, to get District Attorney Parker out of office?
I don't like crooks, Kent. And I don't like to see the people of this city cheated and hoodwinked. I don't like cowards either, Kent.
Meaning what, Remsen?
You know, Kent, there's something peculiar about you.
What do you mean?
Well, take what happened in the mayor's office this afternoon. All of us are searching for a dictaphone, thinking that maybe the Invisible Man works his trick voice that way.
Yes?
You go into another room, another office, and start searching that.
Well?
The next thing we know, you're out on the fire escape. And to get to that fire escape from the other room, you'd have to leap 20 feet through space.
Oh, I explained that, Remsen. I merely walked through the mayor's office, went downstairs to the office just below the mayor's, and came up again by way of the fire escape.
Yes. Well, for one thing, I didn't see you come through the mayor's office.
I've already said that all of you were too busy searching the place to see me.
Maybe so. But if you wanted to examine that fire escape, why didn't you do it through the mayor's office? Why did you have to go downstairs and come up on the fire escape?
Well, I thought...
Yes, you thought what?
Well, you see,
Hello, everybody.
Oh, hello, Jimmy. You know Mr. Remsen, don't you?
Oh, I sure do. You're the man who's giving Mr. Kent and Miss Lane all the dope and Parker, aren't you?
That's right, Jimmy.
I've been looking for Miss Lane. Anybody know where she is?
Didn't you know, Jimmy?
What?
Lois and Editor White are on their way to the governor's mansion. They want to get the governor's help in his campaign against Parker.
Oh.
They left about 2 hours ago. Ought to have covered the best part of the trip by this time, 100 miles at least.
Why didn't you go with them, Mr. Kent? You and Miss Lane are working this case together, aren't you?
Yes, that's right.
Mr. Kent doesn't want to say so, Jimmy. But at the moment, he and your friends aren't getting along so well.
You mean Lois and Mr. White are mad at you, Mr. Kent?
Oh, in a way, yes.
Why? What happened?
Well,
Mr. Kent wanted to give up the campaign to get rid of District Attorney Parker. It seems the Invisible Man is sort of getting on his nerves.
Get this. That isn't true, is it, Mr. Kent?
Well, Jimmy, I just don't see how we can do anything against an adversary you can't even see.
Or to put it bluntly, Mr. Kent doesn't see why he should risk his neck.
Now, that isn't true. Mr. Kent is the bravest man in the world. Now, when we were...
Those are Mr. Kent's own words, Jimmy.
Now, wait a minute, Remsen. I was just trying to look at things sensibly. You're trying to make me out a coward in front of Jimmy here.
Well?
Because you're a coward, Mr. Kent. You're not going to let him get away with it, are you?
So long as I know it isn't true, Jimmy.
You can't let a man call you a coward and not do something about it.
Yes, why don't you do something about it, Kent? I've been itching to take a shot at you ever since you tried to get everybody to give up this campaign against Parker. If there's anything I detest, it's a coward.
Well, fighting won't get us anywhere.
You'd change your mind if I took a poke at you. See how you like this. Oh,
my hand. My hand. You must have a jaw like
I think I've
steel.
broken my hand.
I can hit you right in the button. It didn't seem to hurt you at all, but look at him.
It must have been the way he hit me. He must have hit a nerve in his hand.
It was like hitting a stone wall.
Mr. Kent, this doesn't settle that business about you being a... Well, you know what I mean.
Jimmy, I hope I'm not a coward. I'm not giving up this campaign against Parker because I'm afraid.
Well, why are you giving it up?
The answer to that, my friend, is very simple.
What was that? Who said that?
That's the voice of the Invisible Man, Jimmy.
Huh?
I'm sort of getting used to it now, but you
Invisible Man?
Jimmy, you haven't met me before, and so naturally you're a little excited. How do you do, Jimmy?
Hello. Oh, Michael.
Just this question of whether you're a coward or not seems to be a difficult one. Frankly, I'm of the opinion that you are a coward.
Maybe we ought to take a vote on it.
I have little respect, Kent, for a man who will forsake his friends as you have done the minute danger begins to threaten.
I don't see... What are you getting at? What do you mean when danger begins to threaten?
Why, yes, Invisible. Exactly what did you mean by that?
You're suffering from a case of nerves, gentlemen. I meant nothing special by what I said. Nothing could possibly happen to Miss Lane or Mr. White, could it? Certainly not with me here, and they, shall we say, at least 100 miles away?
No. No, I suppose not. Jimmy, what time is it?
Just a little after 10.
I've got to see the press room foreman right away. Jimmy, you and Remsen can keep the Invisible Man entertained until I get back.
Oh, all right, Mr. Kent. Mr. Remsen, does this Invisible Man actually exist, or am I dreaming?
I'll answer that, Remsen. No, Jimmy, you're not dreaming. I am really in this room with you, but you cannot see me. You see, by means of a trick Houdini himself could be found.
I may be wrong, but I'm afraid there was some implication in what the Invisible Man said about Lois and White being in danger. Just to be sure nothing happens to them, I'd better see if I can pick up their car. Now, there's the post road below me, like a silver snake in the moonlight. I don't see a car anywhere. Maybe the Invisible Man didn't mean anything at all by what... Wait. There are the headlights of a car. Far in the distance. Maybe White and Lois. I'd better pile on speed. Got a feeling the seconds may mean the difference between life and death. Yes, there's no doubt, Lois, that the governor will help us.
Well, it's this Invisible Man business that bothers me, Mr. White.
That is a riddle. You know,
So you better slow down, Mr. White. It's a pretty steep curve ahead.
Practically a hairpin turn. Yes, I'd better slow... What the...
Mr. White, what's happened to the car?
Oh, the steering wheel. It's broken.
Mr. White, we're heading for that cliff.
Oh, what the... Lois, the brakes don't work either. Oh, gosh, there's nothing I can do, Lois. Nothing.
The handbrake. Try to work the handbrake, Mr. White.
Oh, that doesn't work either. Oh, we can't stop.
There's the edge of the cliff. We're going over.
We're out in space. We're falling, Lois. Falling.
No, we're not falling.
What?
We're flying.
Good heavens.
Something's holding us up, swinging us around toward the road again.
You're right.
Up the isn't it? We're being lifted back onto the road. We're safe. Quick, let's get out and see.
Come on. There's no one here. Nothing.
There is. Look, against the moon, the figure of Superman. Mr. White, don't you think you ought to give Clark Kent another chance? Yes, Mr. White. Maybe there's some reason for his trying to...
The only reason he's got is fear.
Mr. Remsen, you're beginning to give me a pain in the neck. Jimmy, no way to talk to people older than yourself. I'm sorry, Miss Lane, but forget it.
White, I say fire, Kent. If we're going to win against Parker, we need men, not mollycoddles. Yes, you're right. There's nothing to do but fire, Kent. And I might as well...
Hello, everybody. You wanted to see me, Chief?
Yes, Kent. I guess the quicker I get this over with, the better. Kent, you're fired.
I see.
Gee, Mr. Kent...
I'm sorry, Kent. You've proven by your actions that you're not the man we need in a job like this.
Oh, sure. Sure, I understand.
Oh, Clark, aren't you going to say something in your own defense? Are you going to stand there and take this the way you take everything else without doing something about it? Mr. Kent, aren't you going to say something? Do something.
What can I do?
Oh, if you only had a tenth of the courage Superman has in his little finger.
I'm afraid you can't compare me to Superman. No, there's nothing I can say except... Well, I'll have to take my story to another paper.
Oh, what's that? What story?
My story about the Invisible Man.
Kent, you break that story in another paper, and I'll break you.
I don't see why I shouldn't break it. I solved it, didn't I?
I don't care whether you... What'd you say?
Okay, I solved it. I know now how the Invisible Man makes himself invisible.
Oh, I've had enough of this nonsense from you, Kent. Get out.
Wait a minute. Clark, Did you mean that? Do you really know how the invisible man makes himself invisible?
Well, I can do it myself.
I don't believe it.
Yes, and neither do I. Well, I'll have to break the story in another paper, I guess.
Now, wait a minute, Kent. If you can show us how it's done, if you can really make yourself invisible, you can have your job back.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, please, Mr. Kent, please show them.
And I'll raise your salary.
Well, that is an inducement. All right, it's a bet.
Ridiculous.
Tell you what I'll do. I'll step outside and close the door. When I knock at the door, Jimmy, you open it and see what happens.
Okay.
Don't forget to open the door when I knock.
Don't worry, I won't.
Good. I'll close the door.
I see I can possibly
He
do
won't,
anything.
Miss Lane. You can bet on that. Listen. Jimmy, quickly, open that door. Well, open it.
Oh, okay, Mr. White. He's not here.
Oh, of course he's not there. Just another trick. He knocked at the door and then skipped off down the corridor.
You're wrong, Chief. I'm right here in this room with you.
What's that?
You can't see me. Because, well, you see, I'm invisible.
I don't understand this. All right, don't.
Well, it looks as if Clark Kent has solved the mystery of the Invisible Man. Do you know how he did it? Well, then, be sure to listen in for the solution when we present our next episode with Superman. And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look, it's a plane. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. High over the Atom City spaceport, a huge blast-pitted field surrounded by ramps and conical metal buildings, a tiny ball of flame glows softly in the sky. As it grows larger, the blasting of powerful rockets is heard, and finally leaping tongues of flame reach down to ease a great passenger spaceship to the landing ramp. As the hatches are thrown open, two young men in the uniforms of space cadets dash into the ship. Moments later, they step into a small private compartment and snap to attention before a middle-aged man wearing only a robe and slippers.
Space Cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning, reporting for duty, sir.
You were sent by Commander Arkwright?
Yes, sir.
Very well. Whose uniform am I to wear?
Mine, sir.
Oh, yes. I see we're the same size. Very well, Cadet Manning, let's get to it. We haven't much time.
Right, sir.
Oh, my suit is there on the bunk. I believe it'll fit you quite well.
Yes, sir. I beg your pardon, sir. I know cadets aren't supposed to ask questions, but, well, we'd sure like to know what this is all about.
You mean, Commander Arkwright hasn't told you?
Not a word. Here's the blouse, sir.
Oh, thank you.
All we were told was to meet you here on this ship, and Roger was to give you his uniform. And then we were to escort you back to Commander Arkwright's office at Space Academy.
Wait a minute. You're escorting me now.
That's right. Now, since this may be a dangerous ride, it doesn't seem fair that you shouldn't know why you are risking your lives.
We're what?
Yes. You especially, Cadet Manning, since you're temporarily impersonating me. You see, I'm Barton Reed, a special messenger from the government of Venus. You've been there, undoubtedly.
Oh, sure. Practically a ferry run for us.
Then you know it's an important part of the Solar Alliance. We are now in grave danger.
From what?
I'm not at liberty to tell you that. But I have come to get help from the Solar Guard. And so far, there have been 2 attempts to assassinate me since I left Venus.
By somebody on this ship?
Yes. But I've been unable to find out who it is. That's why I made these arrangements with Commander Arkwright.
Wow, he sure hands us some juicy assignments.
What difference does it make? We can handle it.
I'm glad you feel so confident, Manning. After all, once we leave the ship, you will be the target.
Oh?
Very well. I'm ready to leave. How do I look?
Fine, sir. Just like a space cadet. You ready, Roger?
Yeah, for just about anything.
I don't understand it. Commander Arkwright said he'd be waiting for us right here in his office. Hey, look at this panel. It's smashed. The teleceiver is out of commission.
What? Something's rotten at Space Academy.
Yeah, Commander Arkwright missing. Now this. Roger, you stay here with Mr. Reed. Don't let him out of your sight. I'm going to Central Security and alert the guard. Don't let anybody in. I'll be right back.
Oh, sit down, Manning. You're making me nervous pacing back and forth like that.
I can't help it, sir. I'm worried. Tom's already been gone 15 minutes. He should have been back long ago.
Now, do you want to go look for your friend?
I think I should. Something's happening around here, and I want to find out why.
Well, don't hesitate on my account. I can take care of myself.
No, blast it, I can't do it. My job is to deliver you to Commander Arkwright and all in one piece.
As it appears now, you may not be able to do that. So I suggest you at least alert the guard.
Yeah, I guess I'd better. But I'll only be gone a minute. In the meantime, don't let anybody in.
Great screaming Saturn, my head. Feels like it's got 16 moons revolving around it. What happened anyway, Roger?
You'll have to answer that, Tom. When you didn't come back to the office, I started looking for you. I found you in a heap here in this corner.
Yeah, but I don't remember anything. I was on my way to Central Security. Then something hit me like a ton of bricks and I blacked out.
You were slugged from behind. You've got a big lump on your head.
Jumping Jupiter. Mr. Reed, you left him alone.
Well, I had to when you didn't...
Skip it. We've got to get back to Commander Arkwright's office. If anything happens to Barton Reed, you and I are finished at Space Academy. We're too late, Roger. Barton Reed is dead. He was blasted by a heat ray.
A heat ray? But that's been outlawed for almost a century.
It makes no difference when you're committing murder.
Oh, brother, are we in a spot now? We were supposed to guard him, get him here alive. We might as well hand in our resignations right now.
Listen, let's figure this out. You traded clothes with him, so you'd be the target.
That sure didn't pan out.
Which means the killer knew you and Reed made the switch.
How could he?
He must have been on the ship. Must have been close enough to see Reed in your uniform when we debarked.
Maybe.
And remember, Reed told us there were 2 attempts to assassinate him during the flight from Venus.
All right, you don't have to spell it out for me. The killer was on that flight, but where is he now? It's a cinch we can't track down every name on that passenger manifest.
Of course not. But since his job is done now, there'd be no reason for him to stay on Earth. He'd head straight back to Venus, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he might at that.
And if I remember right, the ship that brought Reed here is headed back into space tonight. Back to Venus.
You want to go aboard her?
Why not?
Well, how can we do it?
The written orders to meet Barton Reed, the ones Commander Arkwright gave us, they were general orders, giving us clearance wherever we wanted to go.
Great jumping Jupiter. You want to use them?
Why not? What can we lose now?
Tom, my boy, you're getting more like me every day. Let me get a new uniform. We either catch a killer or a court-martial.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by. Spaceman, if you want to be a good Space Cadet, you've got to know your ship. And that's why the cadets take special courses in spaceship maintenance. You know, I went down to the spaceport repair shop one day and got Tom Corbett to tell me all about it.
Hi there. I'm changing a set of steering vanes in this rocket cruiser. The heat of the exhaust burns them out after a while, so they've got to be changed pretty often. You know, besides keeping these rocket ships in trim, the cadets have to keep themselves in trim, too. That's why we make sure we get lots of exercise, fresh air, rest, and good food. And say, tops with me in that good food division is Kellogg's Pep. I need vitamins just like everybody else. And a serving of Kellogg's Pep gives me a whole day's supply of vitamin D. Pep gives you vitamin B1, too, besides other food values you need to build up strong muscles. And you get all these important food values in a cereal that tastes better than anything you ever tasted. So do yourself a favor, spaceman. Start each day with a big bowl full of Kellogg's Pep. You'll like it.
Well, you heard what Tom Corbett has to say about Kellogg's Pep, Spaceman. But you just wait till you taste that delicious, malty-rich Pep flavor Tom was talking about. You won't need anybody to tell you the best-tasting cereal ever is Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep. Assigned to escort Barton Reed, a special messenger from Venus to Space Academy, Tom Corbett and Roger Manning are tricked, and Reed is killed while under their charge. Taking a desperate chance, the cadets set out to find the actual killer. Now aboard a passenger spaceship bound for Titan, Tom meets Roger in their compartment.
I just checked in with the captain on control deck, Roger. He okayed our credentials and our orders. That hurdle is over.
We're on the right ship, aren't we?
Yep, straight out to Venus with a stop at Luna.
Good. Now, what about the passenger list?
Well, I got that, too. Here.
You've checked 3 names.
Right. Each one of those 3 was a passenger on the flight that brought Reed to Earth.
Alexandra Stone, compartment 3, B-deck. The woman in the case. Hey, that's for me.
Cool your jets, son. This is a business trip.
Yeah, monkey business. Let's see. Number 213, York Phillips, compartment 6, B-deck.
And number 315 is Nelson Deegan, compartment 3, A-deck.
With a name like that, he's got to be the space rat. Well, what happens next?
We wait. I've asked the flight stewards to let every passenger know why we're aboard. I figure that should make our criminal come to us.
Oh, sure, with a heat ray in his fist. Of all that space-happy ideas.
Hey, somebody wants in. Maybe it's our man.
Get ready for trouble.
Come in.
Excuse me. I'm looking for Space Cadets Corbett and Manning.
You're looking at him.
Oh. Well, my name is Nelson Deegan. A few minutes ago, I overheard one of the stewards mention the fact that you were looking for someone. A murderer, to be exact.
What? How in blazes did they know? Roger, have you been shooting off your mouth again?
Oh, me?
Just as well that he did. I can help you. I believe the person you're looking for is aboard this ship.
Yeah? Who is it?
Alexandra Stone. That is the name you're going to give them, isn't it, Deegan?
Hey, pipe the space dolls, huh?
Pardon the intrusion. But I also overheard the stewardess, and I knew Deegan would try to accuse me.
I see, and I suppose you want to return the compliment, Miss Stone. You will say Mr. Deegan committed the murder?
Yes, and what's more, I can prove it.
Well, thank you very much, both of you, but I'm afraid you can't help us. You see, we already know who killed Barton Reed.
You what?
How could you?
I can't tell you any more than that. We'll be ready to make an arrest before we reach Venus.
But why not take him now if you know?
We need absolute proof, Miss Stone. There's a security agent on the spaceship now getting it. So, thanks again, and if you don't mind, we have a lot more work to do.
Oh, very well.
You'll let me know as soon as you make the arrest, won't you?
Oh, sure. You'll know, all right.
Thank you.
Now, Sherlock, would you mind telling me what that song and dance was about?
Well, one of those 2 was lying. Just came here fishing, trying to find out how much we knew.
Well, what about the other character that was on the passenger list, York Phillips?
Oh, I'm not forgetting him.
We'll probably hear from him sooner or later. Oh, getting stuffy in here, isn't it? Yeah. Crew must be doping off, not keeping any fresh air. Circulating makes me sleepy. Hey, you smell anything? No, can't say. Can't say what I do. You're tired all of a sudden. Gotta go lie down. Get some sleep.
Oh, no. Roger, snap out of it. Narco gas. Putting us to sleep. Roger. Roger, wake up. Come on, snap out of it.
What?
Wake up, will you?
Oh, my head feels like it's full of cotton wool.
Yeah, I'm kind of groggy, too. But shake those cobwebs, will you, fast?
What happened, anyhow? Last I remember, I was so awfully sleepy.
It was narco gas. Fed through the compartment ventilators.
Great galaxy, how long do you suppose we've been asleep?
I don't know. I'm going to ring the control deck and find out right now.
Control deck, Flight Officer Burton.
This is Cadet Corbett in compartment 4A deck. Have we touched down at Luna yet?
Don't give me that space junk, Cadet. You don't know where we are. You ought to be washed out of astrogation school.
I'm sorry, sir, but we fell asleep.
Right on the job, huh? For your information, we left the moon an hour ago.
An hour?
Yeah. Is there anything else, Flash?
Yes. Will you check the passenger manifest? Did Alexandra Stone, York Phillips, or Nestor Deegan leave the ship at Luna?
I thought it was your business to know. York Phillips left the ship.
Oh, thank you. Well, it looks like Phillips is our man. He fed us the gas and beat it.
Yeah, but we've still got to get him. Before he loses himself on Luna, or transfers into another ship.
And how are we going to do that? Jump out of the airlock and swim for it?
No, we're going to borrow the jet boat and head for Luna. this is it. Room 415. Our last chance to find Phillips. We've combed every hotel in this crummy town.
Last chance is right.
Nobody home. Want to walk in?
Well, we've come this far.
After you, Alphonse. Up in Jupiter. Look, Tom, lying on the floor.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about what happened. That heat ray again.
I wonder if it's Phillips.
Well, he must have a passport or credentials of some kind. Now, let's see. Roger, look. His card in his wallet.
York Phillips. Solar Alliance Security Division. Tom, an undercover man.
And I thought I was kidding when I told... By the rings of Saturn, Alexandra Stone and Nestor Deegan. It must have been one of them.
You mean he or she KO'd us with that narco gas, then left the ship at Lunaport and blasted Phillips?
Sure, there was time. The ship laid over for almost 2 hours.
Well, that adds up, but we're left high and dry, and the killer is on the way to Venus.
Well, there's only one thing to do. We've got to catch up with that ship again.
Oh, brother, we're sure working these orders overtime. Let's see if we can thumb a ride at the Solar Guard destroyer base.
Cadets, are you ready?
All set, Lieutenant Martin.
Then stand by at the airlock. We're ready to couple on to the passenger spaceship. The skipper's waiting to take you aboard.
Thanks for slamming us out of here so fast, sir. You were really burning those jets.
Oh, it's not difficult to catch one of those passenger ships. Ready at the airlock now. Remember, you will hear a steady series of signals until the pressure equalizes. Then you can cross over to the other ship. And spaceman's luck to you, boys.
I don't get it, Tom. Since we came aboard, we've covered just about every deck on this ship, and not a sign of the Stone Doll.
Well, there's still the power deck. Come on, down this companionway.
If Deegan's harmed us, help me. I'll turn him inside out.
Well, funny we haven't been able to catch up to him. He certainly can't move as fast as we can.
If he's still carrying her, he may have stuffed her in a locker somewhere.
Well, that's a cheerful idea. Hey, wait a minute.
You see him?
I don't know. But that locker down there, it's partly open.
So what?
Lockers are supposed to be secured during flight, or everything will come flying out during acceleration or deceleration. Come on, we better check it.
Jumping Jupiter, maybe I was right after all.
The right idea, Roger, but the wrong person.
Look, Deegan. Well, what do you know? The space doll packs a wallop. He's out cold.
But not from any wallop. He's been given a whiff of narco gas and stuffed into the locker.
What?
Come on, let's try to wake him up. All right, Deegan. Snap out of it.
He's starting to open his eyes.
Yeah, that's it, pal. Get on the ball. Come on.
Take it easy, Tom. You'll knock him cold again.
Corbett, man.
What happened to you, Deacon?
Where's Alexandra Stone?
The bomb. The RDX bomb.
What are you talking about?
She left the bomb on the ship, on the power deck gallery.
She what? But that's crazy. She'll blow herself up with it.
No, she's trying to escape in a jet boat. She told me.
Where is the bomb, Deacon?
Somewhere on the power deck gallery. That's all I know. You've got to find it, or this whole ship will be blasted into dust.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, if you want to start out tomorrow morning with a whistle and a smile, you just hustle on down to the breakfast table and do what the Space Cadets do. Open up a package of Kellogg's Pep and shake out a bowl full of good eating. You say Jumping Jupiter. This is a real spaceman cereal, and you won't be wrong either, because the Space Cadets go for Kellogg's Pep in a big way. You know, besides being a top-notcher for flavor, Kellogg's Pep gives you plenty of fuel for a real energy send-off in the morning. When you rocket off to school or out to play, Kellogg's Pep helps you to travel at full space speed. Pep gives you the help of vitamin D and vitamin B1, too. And you get other important food values. Food values that help you to build up strong bones, strong teeth, strong muscle. Ask your mom to set you up with Kellogg's Pep every morning. Then you'll be starting out like Tom, Astro, and Roger. And whether you're heading out to Saturn's rings or down to school for a ball game with your pals, you'll be on the ball all the way with Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Finding Deegan unconscious in one of the space lockers near the power deck of the passenger ship, Tom and Roger realize that Alexandra Stone is the killer they have been looking for. But when Deegan regains consciousness, he warns them that the girl has planted a bomb somewhere on the power deck gallery. Now, racing against time, the two cadets circle the gallery in a desperate search for the bomb.
We'll never find it before it blows up, Tom. It could be any place on the gallery. That RDX is like putty. It could be shaped so we wouldn't recognize it.
RDX has to be exploded by some kind of electrical detonator. We'll check every power outlet up here.
Attention power deck. Attention power deck. Stop all rockets. Crews take emergency stations on jet port deck.
Looks like Deegan contacted the skipper, all right.
Yeah, I hope the passengers and crew can abandon ship in time.
What about us?
We're going to find that bomb. Roger, look, that power outlet.
Huh? Oh, yeah, there's a cable running from it.
Yeah, at least behind this girder. I found it, Roger. Here's the bomb.
Yowie, let me have that cable. I'll pull it out.
No!
Huh?
Hold the bomb. Detonators are rigged that way sometimes. The blast of contact is broken.
What if we don't pull that plug? It'll explode anyhow.
Maybe we still have time. We've got to chance it anyhow.
Time for what?
To get the bomb outside in space. Let it blast there.
And how are we going to do that? You haven't enough cable.
We'll make a live splash. Have 50 feet for the cable. Then carry it to the power deck emergency hatch over there and dump it over. You get the spacesuit for me, Roger, and I'll get the cable. Move fast!
How are you doing, Tom?
Be all set as soon as I make this last connection. There. Okay, now. Pull the plug on the short length of cable.
You sure this will work?
I've plugged the long length in the power outlet in the airlock and hooked it to the detonator terminals. It should work. Go on.
Okay.
It worked. The bomb is still alive.
Well, we won't be for long. Let's get it outside of the ship.
Okay. Give me that spacesuit.
Oh, no. Here's where I take over, Junior.
Now, look, Roger.
You look, Tom. See? Suit's on already, and here goes a helmet.
Now, hand me that bomb. Okay, pal. And spaceman's locked.
Yeah, what do you want, Tom?
The outer airlock portal opens. Just push the bomb out into space. It'll drift to the end of the cable.
Okay, I got you. But I sure wish the pressure in here would equalize. I don't like the idea of holding a live bomb in my hand.
Can't say I blame you, pal.
Okay, pressure's equal. The outer portal's opening.
Push out the bomb. Quick.
Here it goes.
Now, close the portal.
Right.
Roger. Come in. Roger.
Corbett, they caught Alexandra Stone. She's locked in one of the jet boat airlocks. She couldn't get away.
That's great. But blast it. When's this airlock going to open?
What's the trouble? Corbett, you're white as a sheet.
Blood is still in the airlock. I heard the explosion, but he hasn't checked in. And I can't get into the airlock until the pressure is equalized.
There. You can get into the airlock now.
The portal's opening.
Hiya, Junior.
Roger, you okay?
Sure, you weren't worried, were you? The bomb exploded clear of the ship. No damage at all.
Except to my nerve.
Now, let's get after that Stone doll.
We don't have to, Roger. She's a prisoner in the jet boat airlock.
Well, then all our worries are over.
Not yet, Roger. We still have to find out why Barton Reed was murdered and what's happening on Venus.
Oh, great. More trouble. We stick out our necks again.
What's the matter, Roger? You worried? Oh, you don't want to live forever, do you?
That's just the trouble. The way you operate, I won't get the chance.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Thursday, when he and Roger Manning land on Venus and find danger in Part 2 of The Atmosphere of Death. Tune in, same time, same station on Thursday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast are Jan Merlin, Peter Capell, Maurice Tarplin, and Elspeth Eric. Today's program was written by Elwood Hoffman, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other raisin bran but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
Everyday routine, ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Tonight, we escape to a murderous conflict of greed and passion aboard a coastwise tramp steamer headed for Central America, as John and Gwen Bagney tell it in their exciting tale, Maracas. I am standing in the little patio of a cantina near Maracas. The air is heavy with the scent of tropical vines, tequila, and gunpowder. There's broken glass everywhere, and the most appalling silence. Captain Kelso is standing here with me. So is his stove. And General Topaz and his men, their swarthy faces serious, completely erasing their earlier gaiety. The party is over. We're all waiting for General Topaz to give the order. And then... But maybe I'd better start at the beginning. I know now I should never have taken the berth as mate on the Bruno. He's a coastwise tramp out of San Diego, but at the time I figured working under that loudmouth, sadistic, slave-driving Kelso was better than the seaman's bishop. They were carrying a cargo for Santa Gardo and 2 passengers. From the beginning, the voyage spelled trouble. For one thing, we went long out of Dago when we ran into the blow. I wasn't too concerned about it, but I went to notify the old man purely as a matter of routine. I found him sprawled across his bunk, his mouth open, snoring. There were a couple of empties on the floor and another in the basement. Captain Kelso. Hey, Skipper. Hey, Storm, we're running into weather.
Oh, something wrong?
No, sir, I just thought you'd like to know.
Good. Now I know.
Get back to the bridge. I suppose I have to change course, sir.
Haven't you been in the blow before? Maybe I should have checked your papers before I signed you on. You are a sailor, aren't you?
Yes, sir. I've been to sea a couple of times.
Well, get out of here and quit beefing it. And don't bother me again. I got a headache.
You should have.
What's that, Mr. Doyle?
Nothing, sir. Nothing. Back in the wheelhouse, I watched the well deck below disappear completely, again and again, beneath the angry white line. And then, I didn't have enough on my mind. It was the passenger, George Miley. I hate passengers. They don't belong on freighters. Always underfoot, always asking fool questions. And Marling was no exception. But what was worse, he was also the shipper of all that cargo in number 2 hold. Farm equipment from Marling and Gavin, Los Angeles.
Mr. Doyle.
So we had orders to be polite to him.
Mr. Doyle.
You shouldn't be running around the ship in this kind of weather, Mr. Marling. You'll get yourself hurt.
I want to see the captain.
He's not here, sir.
Well, where is he?
He's in his quarters asleep, sir.
Asleep in a storm like this? Tell the captain I want to see.
I can't do that, Mr. Marling.
I'm a personal friend of Captain Kelso. Guilty.
Sorry, but he left strict orders not to be disturbed for anything.
But the sea is wild. It'll dash my cargo to bits.
Your cargo is all right, sir. Now, why don't you just go to your stateroom and relax, huh?
Young man, when I want to discuss my business with a mate, I'll call you.
When I want to talk to the captain, I mean exactly that. Now get in. If he's asleep, wake him. Wake him nuts. I'd rather kick a cobra out of his bed. Go wake him yourself. I will. And I shall also report you for your insolence. Yeah, do that. What did he think? Somebody was going to steal his precious cargo? He was on the dock when we loaded it. He was in the hold when we stowed it, and on the deck when we battened the hatches. He was so afraid we'd contaminate it, why didn't he send it air express? I was still burning about it when the second came to relieve me. Went down to the galley to have a cup of coffee. Yanked the spigot of the coffee urn so hard that hot coffee splashed in and out of the cup and all over my pants. Oh! I spun around so mad I saw red. Yeah, I saw red, all right. A shining red stage boy bob. And underneath it, a mocking face. And about 110 well-distributed pounds. There were only 2 passengers on board, so that made her Mrs. Miley.
May I have a cup of that?
What?
Coffee.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Do I surprise you that much?
No. As a matter of fact, I just thought that...
Yes, I know. Everybody thinks that. If they meet George first.
And if they meet you first?
Then I warn them about George.
Oh?
Was he very unpleasant?
Yeah, they got a rise out of me, if that's what you mean.
Yes, he does that, too. What did he want you to do? Stop the storm?
You know him better than I do.
I don't think you like me.
I'm sorry. I've got something else on my mind, you see.
Oh, don't be so serious. I was only kidding.
So?
Going to be a long trip?
Excuse me, Mrs. Marling. I've got to get back to the bridge.
Everybody calls me Estelle. What do they call you?
They call me Doyle, Mr. Doyle. Excuse me.
Oh, Mr. Doyle.
Yes.
I hope I haven't rushed you.
Passengers. You see what I mean? They get in your hair one way or another. Only one day out, and already she was bored. Already she was looking for a way to pass the time and somebody to pass it with. Well, you can ignore the passengers, but the cargo, that's the lifeblood of shipping. So as soon as the storm quieted down, I went below to make sure it was all well secured. Number 3 hold filled with canned goods was okay. So was number 4, which carried a cargo of radios. Then I went into number 2 to see how Miling's farm implements were faring. And immediately, I was glad I had. One end of a crate had jarred loose, and wouldn't do for Miling to find that. I brought my flashlight closer to check for possible damage, and that's when I saw them. Highly polished stocks of a half-dozen rifles. Farm equipment, huh? I ripped open a few more crates. Yeah, they were all the same. Rifles. No wonder George Miling was so concerned with his cargo. Captain Kelso.
I told you to keep out of here.
You know what we're carrying in number 2 hold?
Sure, cargo, farming equipment.
Well, the only digging it'll be doing is for graves.
What do you mean?
The crates of rifles Miling's transporting.
What are you doing in number 2 hold?
Listen, Kelso, I signed on this ship as mate, but when it comes to carrying contraband, that's something else.
The cargo's listed on the bill of lading as farm equipment. As far as I'm concerned, that's what it is. Understand, Mr. Doyle?
Yeah, I understand. What's your cut?
What are you talking about?
Kelso, you're just not surprised enough. How much are Miling and Gavin paying you?
If you got something definite on your mind, spring it.
All right, I will. I want my share.
Why,
And if I don't get it, I might be unhappy. I might talk to the wrong people. Like, say, port officials.
Why, you punk. What do you think you are? Get out of here. Get out before...
Get straight, Kelso. If I'm going to help carry trouble, I'm going to get paid for it. And you can tell that to that jerk Miley.
Why don't you tell me yourself?
All right, Miling, so you hurt me.
Well, it wasn't my fault. He was snooping around the hold, Mr. Marling. I didn't know anything about it.
Naturally you didn't. You were asleep.
Drunk. He's a meddling fool. He had no right.
Don't upset yourself, Captain. There's enough profit in my cargo for all of us. No reason why we can't let the man share with us, now is there?
You're making a mistake. Why don't you let me handle him?
You had that opportunity, Captain. We'll do it my way now. And what's my share? Your way. We'll talk about that. I want a third. A third? Oh, you are greedy. No, I'm afraid we can't let you have that much. Why not? There are already three of us in the deal. My partner Gavin in Los Angeles, myself, and the good captain here. All right, then I'll settle for a fourth. How about, shall we say, $3,000? You're really off your rocker. That hold is loaded with those crates. You better take it, Mr. Doyle. Your threat about informing the port officials won't do much good unless you get to port. See? Afraid you're not in a very good position to bargain. I'd say I was. Because you see, Marling, you either give me a fourth, or every man in the crew will know what we're carrying before night. You know what happens then? You got a big split on your hands. Everybody shares. You're a very smart man. Well, Marling, is it a deal? It's a deal. In just a moment, we will return you to Escape. There's a fellow who makes a nice little thing singing popular songs, a fellow named Crosby, Bing Crosby. Then comes another fellow named Frank Fay and begins to analyze the words to the songs this man Crosby has been singing. Is it justice? Well, who knows? But it's one of the funniest sessions on the air, if you heard their broadcast last month. Frank Fay will pay Bing another visit tomorrow night on Bing's regular Wednesday night CBS show. Bing Crosby, Groucho Marx, Burns and Allen, Dr. Christian. They're all Wednesday night stars on most of these same CBS stations. And now we return you to Escape and the second act of Maracas. The first day of the voyage of the Bruno was drawing to a close. Not 12 hours ago, I'd shipped out of San Diego with exactly $1.62 and a Canadian dime to my name. And now, the potential. The jackpot potential. The night was clear and dark as I came off watch. There was no moon. The storm had blown itself out to the southwest, and now only a light wind across our port beam marked its passing. Yeah, it was the kind of a night I always liked to see. Quiet and dark. But this night I would have felt a lot happier if there'd been a moon. There were too many dark places where a man could be ambushed on a ship, and the sea is a handy repository for unwanted ballast, including the human variety. So I moved warily, conscious of every sound around me. Mr. Doyle. I almost jumped out of my jacket when I heard him. Mr. Doyle. What? Where are you?
Up here on the boat deck. May I see you a moment?
Sure. I went up the steps, one hand on the railing, one hand on the pocket that held my gun. I stopped. Took a bearing and squinted in the darkness. I could just make him out, Marling, standing near number 3 lifeboat.
Over here, Mr. Doyle.
Yeah, sure. What's on your mind? I want to talk to you. Yeah, I gathered that. It's, about our partnership. What about it? I like you, Mr. Doyle. I think you're a fine addition to our little enterprise. But, there's a little problem. The fine print, the hidden clause in the contract. Oh, it's nothing that can't be worked out. I'm afraid I was a little hasty, spoke inadvisedly in the captain's quarters. Oh? While my partner, Tom Gavin, is a very reasonable man, I feel sure he would never endorse a 4-way split. You know, there's a lot of overhead to a proposition like this. It isn't all clear profit. Get to the point, will you? Isn't it obvious? We have one too many partners. One has to be liquidated. Which one? That's a decision I'll leave up to you. Captain Kelso wouldn't hesitate to do it to you if I gave him the chance. That's a charming idea, but no thanks. I'll run your guns, but you handle your own liquidation. Then I'm afraid you leave me no alternative, Mr. Doyle. What? Keep your hands up and be good enough to move back. Hey, now, wait a minute. Get over there between the lifeboats. I hadn't even seen him reach for a gun, yet there it was, pointing into the pit of my stomach as he forced me backwards between the lifeboats where there's no railing. If only I could get to my gun, I'd have a shooting chance. I didn't know what the sound was, but it startled Merling just enough for me to pull my gun and hit the deck. His bullet went miles, mine found its mark. But he'd made the choice for me. Murder or be murdered? I'd have to explain it. I wondered what I would tell them, but nobody saw it. Maybe nobody even heard it. Maybe I could just keep my mouth shut. Maybe the wind had carried the sound away. I moved quickly across the boat deck and stumbled over a davit crank handle. This must have been the cause of the sound that startled Marley. This was the thing that had saved my life. I stooped down to pick it up and became conscious of something else. A foot. A foot in a spiked-heeled sandal. Mrs. Marley. She stared at me without expression. I didn't know how long she'd stood there in the shadow of the ventilator. I tried to bumble out some kind of an explanation of how it had happened, how it wasn't my fault. I didn't know how much she'd seen, but I stopped abruptly when I heard him coming up the ladder, bellowing like a bull.
Who's right there? What's that shooting about, huh? Oh, it's you, Joy. What are you... Miss Marlin, what are you doing up here? Where's Mr. Marlin? What happened?
George had an accident. He fell overboard.
What?
He was drunk. He didn't know what he was doing. He would have killed me if Mr. Doyle hadn't happened along and interfered.
Yeah, but I heard shots.
That was George. When he lost his footing, his gun went off.
Twice?
Yes, twice. I suppose you'll have to make some kind of a record of this in your logbook.
Yeah. I'd better lower a lifeboat and look for him.
Oh, it wouldn't do any good, Captain. George can't swim.
I watched Kelso walk away. I knew he didn't believe any of it. The minute he was out of earshot, I turned to her. What did you lie for? Why didn't you tell the truth the way it happened?
What do you care? You're in the clear.
I don't like the way you did it.
Well, it's done, so forget it. You ought to be grateful to me.
What for?
I saved your life. How do you think that thing got on the deck, that handle?
You mean
That's right, I threw it. George would have killed you if I hadn't.
Hey, wait a minute. That means that you wanted him dead. Earlier tonight in the galley, I thought you were just passing the time with me. I thought that
You thought what? Let's just say I did you a favor and you did me a favor. Now we're even.
The bereaved little widow. She made that thief-scum Kelso look like a choir boy. I don't know what she had in her vicious mind, but it wouldn't be good. Not that it made any difference to me. I had only one interest only, my share of the loot. Now that Marling was dead, the split should be bigger. And then I remembered. I'd done a stupid thing. I'd ripped open quite a number of those crates in my hurried inspection of the cargo, and I hadn't crated them up again. Those shiny rifle butts were visible. We couldn't risk port officials seeing them. I hurried into number 2 hold and was busy nailing up the cases when Kelso came down.
Marlin, you're chicken?
Just protecting my investment.
You've gotten around an awful lot tonight, Joel.
I'm an active partner.
Yeah? Well, if you want to stay that way, you'll take orders from me.
Marling's gone. It's every man for himself now.
I don't like you, Joel.
That's mutual.
That was some cock and bull story you and her cooked up.
You heard her tell it.
I've known Marling for years. I know he never touched a drop of it.
Talk to her about it.
That's the trouble. I can't prove a thing. You watch your step, Joel. Don't you get any idea you can cut me out like you cut him up?
Yeah, well, I'm going to watch you too, Kelso. I'm going to watch you close.
You can quit fighting over it, boy. There isn't going to be any money to split.
What?
The cargo's already been paid for. Tom Gavin collected for it in Los Angeles before the ship ever sailed.
Marling told me it would be paid for at the end of the run. Marling promised.
George promised a lot of things. And George isn't here.
You never intended for him to reach the end of the run. Is that it, Mrs. Marling?
Oh, smart.
You and Gavin had a cute little thing cooked up between you, didn't you? And I stepped in and watched your dirty linen.
You haven't anything to squawk about. You're alive, aren't you? And neither have you, Captain. You'll get paid for the freight.
Freight? For that measly amount, I took a chance with losing my license and my ship. Right. I ought to keep away from you. All right, leave her alone. I said, shut up. There's cheating. She's coming away with her. Shut up.
Now listen. You hear that? Listen, it's ticking. Only two things tick, a clock and a time bomb. Here we've been shouting, screaming at each other as the minutes ticked away. And now we wildly fanned out with flashlights, trying to track down the source of the sound. Fighting time. Minutes. Maybe seconds. I was the one who found it. Planted in one of the cases of rifles I'd opened. Enough TNT to blow the whole ship apart, and I split it. We held our breath, white and tense, as I pulled the clock mechanism away from the detonator, dismantling the bomb. And there was only one person who could have done it, the one who insured the cargo, the shipper. Marling had been on board, so it had been Gavin.
How do you feel about your Mr. Gavin now, Mrs. Marling? How do you like being a sucker along with the rest of the boys?
You're right. I'm the biggest sucker of all. No wonder Tom was so sure George would never come back. And do you know how he roped me in? With the oldest cliche in the world. He was going to marry me when I came back in my widow's weed.
Never mind the broken blossoms. What about us? We're carrying contraband and all the risk that goes with it, and not a nickel for any of us.
If you two have finished feeling sorry for yourselves, old man Kelso like the fool. There's no law of gravity that says this cargo has to go to Santa Gordo, is there?
You got an idea?
Sure, I got an idea. But I'm boss. You understand, Doyle?
If you've got an idea.
Okay, Mrs. Marling?
All I want is a chance to see Tom Gavin squirm.
You'll get it, I promise. You gotta be enterprising in this business, Doyle. There's more than one way to turn a buck, and there's more than one side to a revolution.
Like Kelso said, no reason why our cargo should go on to Santa Gordo. There were others who wanted and needed rifles, the guerrillas. And what was more important, they had plenty of money, gold. And Kelso knew a man in Maracas who knew a man who could put us in touch with the guerrilla chief. So we altered the course. 10 days later, we steamed through the Gulf of Teresa and entered the obscure little Bay of Maracas. At Stowe, we were partners now. I dropped to Mrs. Marling. Kelso and I, three ill-assorted people, went ashore to make the rendezvous. We walked up a steep, winding hill to a little cantina. And just as Kelso had promised, his friend Trent had made the contact. All we had to do was wait. Yeah, it was a hot night, so we sat in the picturesque little patio. And then we heard them. First, it sounded like a roar of thunder from over the horizon. Then it took form. First a boisterous cloud, and then distinct shape. Horsemen, a dozen or so, shooting and whooping as they galloped up. A gang of renegades, unshaven, sweat-stained, each fiercer looking than the other. All wearing cloth cartridge belts, sombreros, and sporting firearms of assorted caliber and make.
You are Capitan Crusoe? I am Topaz, General Topaz. Well, the shipment's all ready, General. I'll have it unloaded. There is no hurry. When the time comes, my men will take it off. In the meantime, we have come a long way. The hills, they are dry. And so are my men. We have drinks now. But I thought maybe we'd better... You brought lovely lady. Topaz is happy. And when Topaz is happy, he must have drink. Amadeo, tequila, cerveza for the men and for my friends. Pronto. Vamos a buscar una voz.
I've never seen so much liquor consumed so fast. Tequila and cerveza, a violent combination. And it had a wild effect on them. The more they drank, the more uncontrollable they became. Shouting and shooting glasses of coffee off the cobblestone from Maracas. We began to have an uneasy feeling. We wanted to conclude our business quickly, unload the rifles, get paid, and get out. Even Kelso began to be uneasy.
What, General? Fun is fun, but we can't hang around here all night. Plenty time, my friend, plenty time. More tequila. Diego, lay for us. Senorita, is this much nice? You are lucky. You like and so fast.
Please. General, Captain Kelso would like you should send for the cargo.
You think so, eh? All right. Mario, Shadow. Get the men. Unload the rifles. You are happy now, Senorita? This kind of tequila. We have drink.
No,
You think Topaz drinks too much, eh? Amadeo, hold the bottle. Oh. I must be drunk. I hit the bottle, not the cord.
He was a good enough shot to make my blood run cold. All of them were. The more they drank, the better their aim. General Topaz was having a riot at the time with a cannon at 44 shooting gourds from the boat. And it was a relief when the cases of rifles began to pile up. And suddenly, the general's mood changed. He was bored with his marksmanship.
Bring me one. I want to see how good the dingo's guns are.
One of his men ripped open a crate. General Topaz grabbed a rifle, held it in his hand, inspected it, and threw it violently at me.
What's this? This joke? You make fun with Topaz. Open them all!
His men literally tore the tops off dozens of crates with their fingers. And I told cold in the pit of my stomach. I hoped it had been a mistake, but it wasn't. It was a grim joke. For Gavin hadn't meant that cargo to go through, so he hadn't wasted real rifles on it. He'd sent case after case of dummy cargo. Oh, they were rifles, all right, good enough to fool me down in the hold. If only I'd taken one out, examined it, I might have discovered in time that they were phony guns that would never fire a shell. Cheap hot metal imitations with highly polished pine stock. Great stuff for kids under a Christmas tree, but not quite good enough for General Topaz.
General Topaz is important man. I have important war. And for this you pay. Mario, Diego, Nino, Shadow, Amadeo, Cano, un gran tiroteo para estos canallas.
And so it's dawn. And we three, Estelle, Kelso, and I, are standing here in the patio. General Topaz and his guerrillas are drunk, but not dead drunk. Rather, deadly drunk. 10 of them. The firing squad lined up facing the 3 of us. Their guns aimed straight at us. And on their dull faces, murder. The general, with his flamboyant sense of drama, raises his gun just as the first rays of the sun streak through.
Stop!
He has a sense of the drama, General Topaz, but no sense of humor. But when so final, it might be funny. A double cross.
Fuego!
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight we have presented Maracas by John and Gwen Bagney. Featured in the cast were Bill Conrad as Doyle, Ted DeCorsia as Captain Kelso, Joan Banks as Estelle, Paul Frees as George Marling, and Juano Hernandez as General Topaz. Special music was arranged and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week. You are on a schooner in the South Seas, and dead ahead lies the island of Pelota, and the most desperate man of this lawless region. You have never seen him, but you have sworn to kill him. Next week, we escape with an exciting tale of the strangest bargain ever made, as George F. Watts tells it in his famous story, Sunk. Goodbye, Dan, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Festive music for a festive holiday, 1 full hour of it. That's the treat in store for you when you tune in to Thanksgiving Day Festival over these same CBS stations. The Choraleers and the Symphonette combine talents for this great show, plus Leonid Hambro, pianist, Oscar Shumsky, violinist, Bambi Lynn, young Broadway star, and many other favorites. Remember, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thanksgiving Day for the whole family, the Thanksgiving Day Festival over the entire CBS network. Now stay tuned for Hit the Jackpot, which follows immediately on most of these stations. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. 10 p.m. ULOBA, Boulevard time.
Nestle's Eveready, the instant cocoa. Nestle's Quick for great chocolate milk. And Nestle's chocolate bars present Space Patrol. High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy have just rescued 2 men from a damaged space freighter. Right now, in their spacesuits, they're helping the 2 men through the airlock into the Space Patrol ship.
Close the hatch, Hap. Yes, sir. We can raise our face pieces now.
The cadet will take you back aft, man. Thanks. I've got something in this box that'll make you feel better.
First aid kit, huh?
Not quite. And if you don't get your hands up, you'll need more than first aid.
Commander, it's a blast gun.
Well, take it over the kit, boy. Do as you're told, and you'll stay alive.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Voice from the Future. It's hot stuff. What's hot stuff? Nestle's Eveready Cocoa. That's hot stuff. That's what I said. Nestle's Eveready Cocoa is hot stuff. So what are we arguing about? I have stopped mixing me up. There's no argument about Nestle's Eveready because everybody agrees it makes the most wonderful cup of hot chocolate in the universe.
You said a mouthful, Captain Two-Fells. Nestle's makes such a rich, chocolatey, delicious hot chocolate, it's out of this world. And there's no mixing up either because Nestle's Eveready practically makes itself.
That's right. All you do is put 1, 2, 3 teaspoons of Nestle's Eveready in your cup. You add hot water, and it's made.
You don't have to add milk or sugar, because Nestle's is complete.
Yes, Nestle's has rich, whole milk and sugar already in it.
And you know something? What I like best about Nestle's is that sensational Nestle's flavor. There's nothing quite like it. It's real chocolatey, too. A terrific treat any time of day or night.
Glad you mentioned that, Hap, because we always recommend hot chocolate made with Nestle's for a breakfast warm-up. But we also like to see Space Patrollers drink it at all their meals and snacks, too.
Now, what did you say was the name of this product?
Oh, Hap, you're kidding me again. You know it couldn't be anything but Nestle's Eveready Cocoa.
In the bright red can. That's Nestle's. And it's hot stuff.
And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Voice from the Future. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have just arrived at the Lunar Fleet Base on the Earth's moon. They're on a mission so secret that not even Happy knows the purpose of their rapid space flight from Terra to the solar system's most closely guarded test base. Right now, In an office reserved for the commander at the Lunar Fleet Base, Buzz slides open a large metal cabinet, revealing a panel covered with a maze of instruments, control levers, gauges, and switches.
There you are, Hap.
What do you think?
Wow, it's wonderful. A model of a rocket cockpit.
Mm-hmm. It's a mock-up of the control section of a new rocket ship.
You don't mean the new star drive job? The big hush-hush operation?
That's it. Project Infinity has been completed. Or will be as soon as we make a test.
Project Infinity. So that's what the code name stands for. The new Star Drive Patrol Ships. Well, when do we blast off?
The engineers are making a final inspection now. Rather than get in their way, I thought I'd give you a special briefing on this model.
Oh, I sure need it. It looks different from the Star Drive control we've been using.
Yes, sir. This is a multi-purpose ship. It can be used for regular patrols in our solar system as well as for interstellar travel.
Oh, this cockpit has got everything. Viewscope, spaceophone, decoders, hyperspace computers.
Yes, anti-gravity controls and ultra-sensitive radiation indicators. We're prepared for almost anything you'll encounter anywhere in space.
I see. I just noticed there's a comet cannon controls. How far are we going to take this flight tonight?
At Alpha Centauri, a little over 4 light years away.
One thing I've been wondering about, though, why all this secrecy? We don't have to worry about any trouble from Toronto anymore.
No, we can't be sure that some of the solar system doesn't have spies here in the United States.
Uh-oh. Something's happened that I haven't heard about. I can tell by your tones, sir.
Yes, sir. There's already been an attempt to steal the hyperspace drive designs. Fortunately, the attempt was failed. We don't know whether the thief is from one of our planets or from another solar system.
Well, maybe some Turanian spies are still here and don't know that their attack plans are all washed up.
Whoever's responsible, we can't afford to take chances. Let's go over this rocket cockpit model in detail, and we'll be ready for the real test.
Elsewhere in the office of the Red Star Space Lines in Lowell City on the planet Mars, Rourke Dexter leans back in his chair and stares dreamily at the huge space chart on the wall. Behind Dexter, the door opens, and Nate Soren shambles in and settles his huge frame in the only remaining chair.
Something wrong, sir? There's something wrong, he says. I just made my last flight for Red Star. I'm out of a job. And working for Red Star is no recommendation. I'll be lucky to get a job shipping paint. Trouble with you, Soren, is you're always looking on the dark side of things. What other side is there? Things are as black as... That was that space chart. Look, there goes the last chip. When it sets down at Jupiter City, that light will blink out. You will be operations chief of a grounded fleet. Those old traitors have served their purpose. They sure have, Dexter, and so have you. I just hope you made a fortune out of hijacking cargo from other outfits. You're going to have to live on it for a long time. Soren, how would you like to continue working for me? Doing what? The only thing you know, spaceship. We're going back into the shipping business. Under a different name, I suppose. That's right. The Space Patrol will get on to us in no time. That wouldn't do them any good. They'll never be able to catch us. You're crazy. They caught us before, didn't they? That's why we're both out of a job, remember? Soren, listen. We're going to have an interstellar ship with star drive. We make our deliveries through hyperspace. I know you're crazy. Am I? Listen to this. Corey's going to test one of those new star drive ships. He's at the Lunar Fleet Base right now. I'll have to find that out. I have very good sources of information. I almost got a copy of the designs of the new rocket cockpit. When my agent failed, I got the idea of stealing the ship itself. It's much better. It saves us the time and expense of building one of our own. What's my cut? 25% of our profit. And that's pretty good for a pilot. And you don't take the risk you did under the old setup. Well, all of a sudden, this is beginning to make sense. Of course. And as I say, there's no risk. Once you got into hyperspace, the Space Patrol can never trail you. The big question now is, how do we get that new ship away from the Space Patrol? I've got it all figured out. The test vector is supposed to be top secret. But I've picked out a little information.
Meantime, back at the Lunar Fleet Base, Buzz and Happy are in the rocket cockpit of a new star drive ship, all set to blast off. Corey aboard test ship SD-1 calling Lunar Space Control.
Space Control Luna here, Commander.
Request space lock clearance for immediate blast off.
Space lock number 3, ready as ordered, sir.
Space lock 3 confirmed. Corey out. Set magnetic compensator for space lock 3, huh?
Yes, sir.
5 seconds. 3 seconds. Fire rocket. We'll hold it at this rate till we're beyond the Jupiter orbit. Then we'll increase to attain star drive velocity near Neptune. Uh-oh. Commander, the U-boat change. Spaceship. Looks like a cargo ship, sir. What's it doing clear out here? That seems to be in free fall. I don't see any rockets flying. What do we do? We change vector? All the trouble we took to make a nice private test, some old hawk flying is around. Yes, Hap, we'll give them a wide berth. Fire starboard rockets. Yes, sir.
Cargo ship JF-307 calling Space Patrol. Emergency.
Emergency? Is that him?
Get the space phone fixed before the answer.
Cargo ship JF-307 calling Space Patrol ship now 10 TUs off our starboard. Emergency.
Yes, sir, it's him. And he's calling us.
It's not too serious. We'll alert the people at the patrol unit. Space Patrol, a cargo ship, JF-307. What's your difficulty?
We're badly damaged. Our power's out. We've got to abandon ship. We're in spacesuits now.
Can you hold out in free fall until the tow ship gets here from Jupiter?
We're in a real spot. My partner's injured, and we're taking a lot of radiation.
Radiation?
Yes, something went wrong with our reactor shielding.
What happened? The meteor hit you?
Worse, sabotage.
We'll get you off that ship right away. How many are aboard?
2, my partner and I.
He's injured.
Yes, but he can walk. Look, the radiation count's way above the danger point. It'll take you several minutes to maneuver into position.
We'll make it as fast as we can. Oh, wait. Have you got a space raft aboard?
Yes, I was just about to suggest it.
Fine. You get your friend aboard the raft and get away from your ship. Even a few hundred yards will cut down the radiation count considerably. Hurry, out. Well, Hap, you're going to have to delay on. We've got to see that those men get medical attention as soon as possible. Okay. Bring out a couple of spacesuits, Hap. They have to help that injured man into the airlock.
A few moments later, Buzz decelerates the spaceship as he sights the tiny space raft floating away from the damaged cargo ship under the propulsion of compressed air from the jetpack. With rockets cut off, Buzz and Happy stand in the airlock of their ship, looking through the open hatch as the raft maneuvers closer.
Commander Corey to Space Raft. Can you read me?
Yes, Commander.
Accelerate with your forward jetpack. It'll save your pal a rough bump.
Sure.
Raft is secured, sir. Magnetic field is holding it steady. Is your partner conscious?
Yes, but he's pretty weak.
We'll help him aboard.
Come on, pal. On your feet. We're safe now. That's it.
I've got his arm. There you go. Have steady him while I help you up.
I can manage fine, thanks.
You better let me take that box if you're aboard.
It's okay. Just some personal effects.
All right, close the hatch, Hap. Let's get into the ship. Yes, sir. I'll get the inner hatch. Okay, we can raise our face pieces now.
Well, the cadet will take you back after you can get out of those spacesuits. Hap, that injured man is weak. Better hold him.
Yes, sir.
I've got something in this box that'll make him feel better.
Oh, first aid kit, huh?
Not quite. If you don't get your hands up, you'll need more than first aid.
Commander, it's a blast gun.
We're taking over the ship, Corey. Just obey orders. You'll find it's a simple way to stay alive.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Now hear this, Space Patrollers, the most important announcement we have ever made. Right now, today, you can get a model of the rocket cockpit, a scientific, accurate scale model of the new Star Drive patrol ship called Project Infinity. It's the very one Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are testing in this exciting adventure. Gang, listen to this. Your model rocket cockpit has everything the real one has. A big moving viewscope that shows you all the major planets and tells you their names. You can send and decode secret messages with the master coders. They have a system that will be known only to space patrollers. And you'll get a big bang out of the sensational atomic cannons. They have real sighting mechanisms, and you can fire projectiles accurately from porter's starboard side. You'll control gravity with the thrust handles that govern special rocket mechanisms. And you'll be able to set the special time computers to star drive.
the secret invention that takes you through time at heretofore unbelievable speeds. Yes, gang, your model rocket cockpit has all these moving parts and plenty of other dials, computers, and control devices. And it's so real-looking, you'll feel you're in your own ship, having all kinds of exciting adventures for yourself and your pals. Your rocket cockpit stands more than a foot high, almost 2 feet wide, and it has 9 moving controls. And there'll be lots more fun for you if you can follow along in your rocket cockpit and receive the secret messages the commander will be sending out from time to time. Now, I'm sure that every one of you listening today will want to send for your very own rocket cockpit. So here's what you do. Send your name and address and 25 cents in coin plus 2 wrappers from any size Nestle's chocolate bars to Nestle, Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri. Again, it's your name and address and 25 cents in coin plus wrappers from any 2 Nestle's chocolate bars to Nestle, Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri. And hurry, fellas and girls. Don't miss a minute of the fun of owning your very own rocket cockpit. And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Voice from the Future. Buzz and Happy are making a test flight of a new Star Drive ship when they're hailed by a cargo ship claiming to have been sabotaged. Leaving the 2 occupants of the cargo vessel to be in danger of radiation from the damaged ship, Buzz orders them to launch a space raft and leave the wreck. The space patrollers pull the 2 men aboard their ship, whereupon one of the men suddenly produces a blast gun from a metal box he's carrying. As he orders Buzz and Happy to raise their hands, the other man, supposedly injured, briskly steps forward.
Keep them covered, sir.
What, Dexter?
Yes, Commander. By the way, I owe you something for putting the Red Star line out of operation.
You did that yourself by your crooked methods.
I am back in business, Corey, as of this minute.
Let's not stick around here too long, Dexter. We've got to make Corey get us away from here.
We will need him to operate the regular rocket drive. Besides, there is probably a technical manual aboard if we get stuck. In fact, I think all you do to cut in the rockets is press this lever. You got it! That'll get us far out in space. We'll look up Corey and the cadet and try to figure out that star drive.
I'm warning you, Dexter. Don't play around with that hyperspace drive. It involves the kind of arithmetic where 2 and 2 don't always make 4.
I can figure it out. And if I get stuck, I'll make you give us a hand.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, Corey, what Dexter and I already know about the star drive.
You'd be surprised at what you don't know about.
Soren, march him back aft and lock him up. I'm going to get this ship into hyperspace before Corey's outfit starts searching for him.
Locked in an aft compartment of the ship, Buzz and Happy are helpless as Dexter and Soren fumble with the star drive controls.
You think we'll be able to work it, sir? We might hit him the right procedure, just by chance.
Maybe one of the other ships will come along looking for us when we don't report back.
We're going to stop Dexter. They better do it before he stumbles onto the star drive.
They've hit the combination. We're going into star drive. But we aren't up to peak rocket velocity. I'm blacking out. So am I. I bet they are, too. If we come to first, maybe we can break out of here.
Under the stress of a sudden transition from regular three-dimensional space to hyperspace, Buzz and Happy lose consciousness. Then, as they lie on the deck of the compartment, they dimly become aware of the strange pulsations of a hyperspace drive. For what seems like hours, they're unable to move. Even their minds are sluggish, unable to concentrate. At last, Buzz struggles to his feet and tugs at Happy.
Come on, Happy. Try to step on.
It's sort of strange. Like I'm half dreaming.
We've got to find out what's going on up in the rocket cockpit.
We're still in star drive from the sound of things.
Yeah. I've never been in hyperspace this long before.
Not even when we made that 500,000 light-year trip 7 weeks ago.
Let's see if we can get that compartment door open.
Yes, sir. Well, one thing about this ship, it's built strong.
Now, hold it, man. Somebody's unlocking the doors. Be on guard. We can overpower them now.
Corey!
Sorry.
Corey! I've got him, Commander.
Corey, help. Get Dexter. He's...
Something's wrong with Soren.
He's slow. Dexter's going crazy. The ship... It's out of control.
Captain, drag him in. Yes, sir. Lock him up and get up to the cockpit. Hurry. Staring at the controls with his back to us. You still have that blaster.
All right, Corey. Take it easy. I got you covered.
Got yourself in a fine nest, Dexter.
Are you going to get me out? Fix the star drive. Go on, get busy.
What did you do to your pal, Soren?
He went off his rockets. I had to slug him. Where is he?
He's locked up back in. He said you were crazy.
Tell me what's wrong. Everything's black outside the ship. No stars, nothing, just pitch blackness.
It's the way it always is in hyperspace. You're in another dimension. Light doesn't register.
There's some light. I saw it. Flashes of blue and violet, real mixed up and crazy. Corey, you got to get us out of this.
Just keep under control. I'll take a look at the hyperspace computer. Are these instruments exactly as you first set them up?
No. I blacked out. And when I came to, that blackness out there got me worried, so I started turning the dial.
You really messed things up. You aren't supposed to change a thing while the ship's in hyperspace. It throws us clear off vector.
You can fix it. You got to.
Look, there are millions of possible combinations of settings. We might spend the rest of our lives in hyperspace trying to find a setting that would bring us out in regular space.
Well, don't stand there talking. Do something.
Remember, Dexter, we're in this fix because you were doing something.
I couldn't help it. The darkness and then those flashes and the voices. Those voices were the worst of all.
Voices?
What voices? From the spaceophone. It was gibberish and strange growls. They about drove me out of my mind. I cut them off.
I didn't think a spaceophone would work in hyperspace. Ordinarily it won't. But Dexter has things so messed up, we'll try. Smoking rockets. Where did that come from? No way to tell. Evidently some spaceophone signals filter through in slits like those flashes of light. Yeah, but from where? That sound certainly wasn't from our solar system. Hap, I think we're on some sort of spiral in hyperspace. We're whirling round and round.
Pull us out of it.
There's no way to tell what direction to go, either in time or space. There's another signal, sir.
Expect the agreement to have a beneficial effect on world commerce.
Commander, it's English.
New York City. 4 Australian swimming champions arrived here today and immediately plunged into the final phase of training for the Olympic Games.
It's a newscast.
Officials of the Olympic Committee are confident that world records will be broken this year in track and field events as well as in other sports.
That's funny. There aren't
One
any Olympic
prediction
Games
is
this
certain.
year.
More athletes will compete in the 1972 Olympic Games than in any similar event in history.
You say 1972? That's what it sounded
Aye.
like, but I don't...
I've just been handed a special bulletin. White Sands Proving Grounds, New Mexico. A 3-stage rocket carrying 2 men has landed on the moon. A radio report from across 238,000 miles of space states that both men are safe. There are no details at present. But, friends, there's no doubt about it. The era of space travel is definitely here. We'll keep you informed of further...
Hey, is that guy nuts? Why is he so excited about a rocket reaching the moon? That's been going on for 1,000 years. Yes, he did say 1972. And it was in October 1972 that the first man-piloted rocket reached the moon. Sure, everybody knows that. What kind of a newscast was that? All ancient history. It's a wonder he didn't tell us about Columbus. Don't you realize what happened? We picked up a broadcast that left Earth over 1,000 years ago. What? It's our yardstick. Our measuring rod.
Now you're sounding crazy.
Let me adjust that time computer in the rocket cockpit. Now we know our approximate position in hyperspace. We're at the distance a radio signal would travel in. Let me see, from 1972 to now, it's 1,009 years.
Corey, what are you going to do?
We're going to reset our hyperspace vector. If we haven't completely gummed up the works, we'll emerge back in regular space a few light years from the solar system.
Nothing's happening. It's not going to work. We'll be in this crazy mixed-up space the rest of our lives.
You should kick, Dexter. You were mixed up in regular space. Commander, you've hit it. Right, Hap. Hold on, we're coming out of star drive. Commander, you did it. Look through the viewport. Stars, hundreds of them. We're back in regular space.
Where are we? Are we near the solar system?
Let's check. There's Orion, Hercules. And over there is Andromeda. The solar system is about 5 light years in that direction.
Good. Set up the computer.
It'll be fairly simple this time.
Hey, Commander, I've been thinking about that news broadcast that we picked up.
Yes, Hap, what about it?
That was something that happened 1,000 years ago, and yet we heard it just as though it was taking place in the present.
It was probably a rare freak condition in hyperspace. A leak through the space-time warp. Something we can't regulate.
Well, if it happened to an event in the past, Could it happen to a future event? I mean, could we pick up a broadcast of next year's news?
It's an interesting idea, huh? Offhand, I'd say no, but there's a lot we don't know about hyperspace.
Quit the chatter and set up the vector.
It's all set. I'll cut in the star drive.
No, you don't. I'll take over from now on. I know how to operate the star drive now. I don't need you.
You'd better think twice, Dexter.
I know what I'm doing. I'm locking you up. And when we're back in the solar system, I'm turning you over to the big boss.
And who's that?
You'll find out soon enough. Now get back up. I'll let Foreign out and lock you up.
Are you sure you know how to work this star drive, Dexter?
Yeah. I've been watching for you operating. I almost had it right the first time.
Sorry I lost my head a while ago. I thought we were finished.
Forget it. From now on, we've got nothing to worry about. Well, here we go into the star drive. See? There's no blacking out. In a few seconds, we'll be back in the solar system.
Say, you really have got it down.
Official Space Patrol bulletin from Terra headquarters.
Well, it's Corey's voice, but Corey's back up.
Attention all units to bulletin dated October 3rd.
What's going on here today? Is this...
Shut up! Discontinue search for star drive test ship and the new rocket cockpit. The ship has been returned to Lunar Fleet Base. The thieves, Lord Dexter and Nate Soren, were captured yesterday and are being held at Terra headquarters. End of report. Corey out.
What does he mean we're captured? We're right here. Dexter, what's the matter?
That was right. In hyperspace, you can pick up future broadcasts, just like you can the past.
What are you talking about?
We heard what is going to happen tomorrow. Somehow, Corey and the Cadet are going to overpower us.
Not if we fix it so they can't. Let's finish them now.
In the locked compartment, Buzz and Happy carefully placed their inflated spacesuits in a sitting position on a bunk, while listening intently for a sound at the door.
Just the helmets so the face pieces are away from the door, Hap. We want the suits to look occupied, at least at first glance.
Yes, sir. Do you think Dexter will fall for that spacephone call?
I'm not sure. We'll give him a rough go.
After what I heard a while ago, I think maybe I'd believe a future broadcast myself.
Hap, get back against the wall next to the door. I'll hear some. There's the secret of your spacephone call from the future, Dexter.
Yeah. They use their suit spacephone. Yeah. We'll just put an end to that. Get out of that bunk, Corey. You too, Cadet.
Yeah, your little practical joke is going to prove fatal. For you.
Get Soren, Hap. I'll handle Dexter.
All right, hold the blaster on. I'll go up to the cockpit to check the position.
I'm not licked yet, Corey. And don't think your fake spacephone call fooled me. I knew all the time it wasn't the broadcast from the future.
That was no fake, Dexter. Every word about your capture is true. That same bulletin will be spacephone tomorrow, won't it, sir?
Yes, Hap. Here's the ironic part of it, Dexter. You made it come true by trying to make it false.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment.
Say, is it true that Space Patrollers can now get models of the new rocket cockpit?
That's right, Hap. We're offering every Space Patroller a model of our new rocket cockpit for his very own.
Smoking rockets, Commander. That's cosmic. A model of the rocket cockpit is so real, we use it as a trainer. And it has so many moving parts, so many terrific controls.
It certainly is the most exciting offer we've ever made. Space Patrollers, your rocket cockpit is an exact model of the one in our brand new Star Drive ship. It has a big moving viewscope, special gravity controls, master decoder and decoder, big, powerful atomic cannons that you can actually fire, and, of course, the special time drive computers that enable you to fly through time into hyperspace.
Wait till you see it. It's more than a foot high and almost 2 feet wide. Boy, will you want to get one, and fast.
Gang, here's how to get your rocket cockpit. Send your name and address and 25 cents in coin, plus the wrappers from any 2 Nestle's chocolate bars, to Nestle, Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri. That's Nestle, Box 54, St. Louis, Missouri.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are on Mars, searching for a special piece of electronics equipment from another solar system. A girl guides them to a room where two men are carrying a heavy instrument.
Just what is that instrument, Governor?
I don't know. An acquaintance asked us to get it. Set it on, Gordon.
Hey, look out for that chair.
How clumsy of us. It smashed to bits.
Well, maybe it can be fixed.
Here, I'll help you pick up the pieces.
Don't bother, Cadet. Get it. Hey. Get the girl, Gordon. I'll cover these two with a blast gun.
Be sure to be with us next week for the thrilling story, Message to Arctona on Space Patrol. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Norman Jolly, Ken Mayer, and Bela Kovac. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday for exciting action on Space Patrol. This week's Space Patrol was brought to you by Nestle's Eveready, the instant cocoa, Nestle's Quick for great chocolate milk, and Nestle's chocolate bars. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood.
This is ABC Radio Network.